They don't have an under-18 team at the moment. They lose juniors. There's a couple of Golden Square players out here today. Guess where they started they're making their senior debut today. Guess where they started their footy? Maiden Gully. They can't hold on to those kids, and they've got great numbers through their junior programs, but they've got nowhere to go. But why can't you field a team?
I don't know. That's a short answer.
So if you're trying to get a team in other competitions, and in theory you have the resources to field a team in another competition, why can't you field a team in the competition in which you are in to meet the conditions of entry in that competition?
Are we privy to how many players would come to them and want to play to them if they're playing in the Bendigo Football League?
Well, I'm sure there would be some, but surely it can't be the difference between having a team and not having a team.
Well, you wouldn't think so, would you?
And then really this gets to the point of, in my view, how serious can you be about coming in and being a major league club if you can't sort of meet? This seems like a pretty basic requirement. Like if I'm the major league and I'm looking at this club getting slapped with a penalty from its league, whether it's right or wrong for not fielding an under-18 team for the third year in a row, I think it's a really harsh penalty. I think it doesn't necessarily need to be what it is, but I can also see the league's perspective. It's like, well, yeah, you can want to put a team in a competition, but hey, how about you put a team in our competition, because that's where you still play.
So if I take a step backwards just for a second, so would you suggest that by them not fielding a team, have they thrown the toys out of the cot a little bit and say, oh, well, if you're not going to let us play where we want to play, we're not playing at all? Is it that dramatic?
I don't think so. I think that's probably that'd be unfair to characterise it that way. But I feel like maybe they're set on the fact that, well, fielding an under-18 competition in this league isn't the best thing for us. That's fine. But if you need to do it, you need to do it, right?
I can't think of a precedence that's been that strong.
No.
In any league or any club around this district.
No.
And that's what, when I read the article, and I did read the article in the Bendigo Advertiser this week, that was my first response. I went, whoa, where did that come from? It just feels... And I know we talk about the pub test and the normal person's test, if you like. It just doesn't quite sit right with me that you get smacked that hard.
What did you make of it, Michael?
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating. Like knocking 12 points off their senior team. It's just their senior team, isn't it? Not even the reserves.
Yep. Well, it certainly can't be their under 18s.
No, exactly. Well, but the other thing is, there's only 5 sides in that under 18 competition. And I know there's been whispers, and I mean, I was lucky enough to do a Morong versus Maiden Gully game over there last year during the WorkSafe round and all that. But there was no under 18s then as well, and I'm sitting there thinking, this is bizarre. All right, there's been a couple so going back to the GBL, there's a couple of sides last year in, I think, Rochester and Tatura that didn't field under 18 sides, but they couldn't get the numbers to do that.
Do you know if they have sides this year?
They have sides this year.
Yeah.
So, which is fantastic to see. But to go 3 years in a row and not being able to field, maybe it is overkill, but to see also that there's only 5 sides in that under 18 competition completely, with the seniors have got 9.
Yep.
Yeah, it's something's not striking right in that under 18 comp.
So Maiden Gully are the biggest club in the competition. There is no bigger club than Maiden Gully in terms of a player base. It and Morong are the 2 biggest clubs in the competition because they have the biggest area to pull from. I completely... So I disagree with the penalty, but I disagree with the fact that they should be allowed to just skate on through and not field a team. And if you can't get a team up, what makes you think you will get an under-18 team up in Bendigo football? And then what on earth makes you think you could come in from a senior perspective in Bendigo football? So this is a club that is not competitive in its own district league, which is, I mean, arguably the weakest of the 3. Well, it's certainly the weakest of the 3 district leagues around that fields clubs in Bendigo. I think it's a bit stronger than North Central football, but I just don't understand how you can be making noises that you want to be in Bendigo footy as a senior competition when you don't have an under-18 team in your own league. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I understand that they're ambitious, and Cam Tomlin's told us earlier, we want clubs to be ambitious and we don't necessarily want the status quo. I completely agree with that, and we've had the discussion over the last few weeks that football needs to be seriously rethought in our region. So I'm not saying they should just sit back and let things transpire in the LVFNL and participate in that competition because they're there. But you have to be a participant in that competition. You have to meet the sort of requirements to be a participant in that competition. And for me, not fielding a team for the 3rd year in a row when you seem to think you could have one in these 2 other leagues, That doesn't make sense.
No, and to me, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when they were determining penalty, because these arguments would have been thrown and swirled around. So you can imagine some of the robust discussion that's coming. Because the first question that would be asked, if you were sitting there as a committee or whoever that's involved in the penalty, you'd be saying, well, what's going to be the fallback from this?
Yep.
The first fallback is, are we going to show that we're strong? Are we in a position of strength and we don't want this to happen again? Or are we going to just throw the baby out with the bathwater and just say, too bad, so sad. If you can't field a team with us, under 18s, this is what your whack is.
Yeah, I reckon Maiden Gully's got an air of expectation that they should just be allowed to walk into whatever competition they want to in terms of be it an under 18 team or a senior team. I think you've got to earn it. I think you've actually got to demonstrate some capability, and if they came into Bendigo footy, they'd be coming from a hell of a long way back, and that's partly numbers related. So get your under 18s going, get some juniors coming through, and then build into Major League football. There is nothing wrong with them having an ambition to be the 10th team in Bendigo football, but to think that could happen next year, or to think that it could even happen the year after that, when they are coming from so far back in the Loddon Valley League, ambition is great, but it needs to be realistic.
Look, it does, and maybe the door being ajar with Kyneton stepping out, and all of a sudden you've got a bye and you've got one less side in the Bendigo Football League. Ambitious teams would be looking at, clubs would be looking at that and say, that league, they might say that they don't mind having a bye, but nobody likes having a bye, particularly when you lose a footy side.
Yeah.
But also credit to the Bendigo Football League for not jumping and saying, yep, we need someone to come in.
Yes.
Because that could have been the option. I know there was a couple of clubs out of the Loddon Valley League last year, wasn't there? They were talking about potentially jumping up.
I think Morong's potentially on the Morong radar as well. But, I mean, they wanted to enter in some capacity into the Bendigo Footy League, and that got blocked by depending on who you talk to, the AFL Central Victoria Commission, which is now no longer with going to that region council structure. So, it's a fascinating argument, but I struggle to understand the woe is me element of it for Maiden Gully YCW. However, I think the penalty is pretty obscene.
What would you have given them? Obviously there should have been a sanction, and I think everyone's in agreement on that. What sanction would you have done? 12
points is a lot. I mean, that's so the other thing that you have to consider here is that in a 19 competition, you play 16 games. So that's nearly a fifth of it's nearly 20% of your season. And when you're struggling already, that's just a massive hit onto the back foot. I can understand why they needed to do more than a fine, because you need to hit them with a big stick to make sure it doesn't happen again, essentially. Yep. I would have thought maybe player points would be the first lever they'd go to, but then does that help? Because then you're essentially affecting their recruiting. Taking away premiership points doesn't affect your ability to recruit players. So if you went down that argument and said, no, we'll take 4 premiership points, $5,000, on the table, none of it suspended, then I'm probably a little bit more comfortable with that. I think 12 premiership points and a $10,000 fine is excessive.
Joel, I've served on a committee at Castlemaine as secretary and a number of other positions for a long period of time. I hate the fact that they've been hit with such a financial burden, because people like me that do it for nothing are running that football club, right? So hit them wherever else you like, but you're hitting hardcore supporter-based people.
It does need to be a deterrent, though, doesn't it?
But money, that type of money, we're not talking. That's big money, dude. I mean, that's a lot of chook wrap.
But exactly. So,
well, don't you think three games, 12 points? I mean,
I think that's too much. So, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a chance of making finals if you're Maiden Gully and wanting to step up, or what's $5,000 from a recruiting perspective? Is it one player that you don't get over the line for a season?
Yeah, but
what would you rather have?
But it's one sponsor, it's one supporter that's got money in their pocket and saying, I'm not paying your fines for you, I'll pay for your footy club and for your players. But just from a committee's perspective, I could see that'd just knock you on your backside.
So what would you have gone for?
Not the monetary. If they said leave this monetary side out of it, I could live with losing the 12
as a bit of a trade-off.
As a trade-off.
Yep.
Because you're whacking us hard anyway. albeit they're not going to make finals anyway, you wouldn't think, but that just snuffs it right out.
Yeah.
But it gives you a big enough whack, and it gives people around you, clubs around you, not that there's a problem in the league and the competition at the moment, but it sends out a strong signal as well. But it's just, I feel like they're smacking a walnut with a sledgehammer. That's what I feel like.
I mean, it'd work. If you want a ground walnut, it'd work.
But you just got to tap it. You don't have to like ground it into the concrete. Do you?
Yeah.
That's
But
what my initial thoughts are.
They're making a statement here, and I think credit to them for making the statement. It's a gutsy call.
Yeah.
You both make very good arguments.
I feel like the league, maybe there's an element of them wanting to sort of put their flag in the sand too and say, hey, you know, this Wanderway club, even if you're going to leave us, you're not just going to get away with whatever you want on your way out the door. I mean, I don't know that. I've not. So, you know, this is just based off the reporting, having not talked to those close to the situation, but that's just... It's a, you know, that's a discussion. That'll be the discussion that people are having standing across the fence today at local footy, going, what's going on with Maiden Gully? And that's you know, part of the landscape of local footy is that we can have these discussions, and there's not necessarily a right and wrong.
No, it'll be an interesting watch and see how they go for this first month of footy, I think, as well, just to see how it's sort of impacted the game style and if they're losing games they should have won, or if they're winning games they shouldn't win.
Now, I haven't read any other articles apart from that initial article, but has there been an official response, as in have they got a right of reply or a right of appeal, or are they just not on the chin?
I think so. It sounded to me like they could appeal it. Whether they will or not, I'm not sure, but it sounded to me like they could.
Would you appeal that?
I would.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would.
Absolutely, I would.
I would. And if it needs to go to... the, you know, whoever the governing body is, so if you can appeal to a... So this is the thing. If you're Maiden Gully, what's the point in appealing to the league?
Yeah.
They already handed down your sentence.
They've got to appeal to AFL.
So can you appeal at another level? And you know, that might get a little bit complicated in legalese, and there's clearly some sort of... There'll be minds at those two clubs. There's plenty of smart people at that football club that'll be thinking about maybe a bit of recourse as far as that goes. But that will be a fascinating situation to see unfold. Given the situation that footy club's in at the moment, and the situation that league is in at the moment, that's certainly a situation to watch as the year goes on. I don't feel like we've heard the last of that by any stretch of the imagination in the Loddon Valley Football League.
I think it's one we're going to keep looking at and following throughout the year, eh?
Yes, absolutely. So Maiden Gully are in action. They're at home today against Calaval in the first round of the Loddon Valley Football Netball League. Bridgewater take on Newbridge. One thing the LVFNL have done is they've actually set this round up pretty well. It's, you know, a couple of local rivalry battles, Morong and Midiamo, so a couple of the stronger teams from recent seasons, Bears Lagoon Serpentine and Pyramid Hill doing battle as well. That'll be an interesting contest. Bridgewater and Newbridge is always a fascinating clash between the battle of the teams along the Loddon River. That's always a great game. That's out at Bridgewater. What's that?
Sandhurst? Where do most of the Sandhurst players gone this year? Collins and all those guys.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of ties to Bridgewater, of course. That's where Lockie Sharp is, too, out at Bridgewater. Rick Ladson's assembled a bit of a dream team out there.
I was trying to be funny, John.
Sandhurst, what would that be? Sandhurst West?
Yes, correct.
Sandhurst West.
But there's certainly some toing and froing between those two clubs. And
always has been. Always has been. You go back to the likes of Dave Collins. There's a lot of lineage between Bridgewater and Sandhurst along the line.
Braden Grenville out of Morong this year too.
Yeah, the big goal kicker.
Big goal kicker.
Yeah, he's going to be a loss, but they had a fair lead on some of those other clubs. Did Morong last season. The Eaglehawk team are running out onto the ground for the first time this afternoon. And Golden Square, not too far away, will run out from beneath us. We're here in the grandstand at Canterbury Park. Great to be with you. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. John Peterson, John Hunter, Michael Van Dorser with you for round one in Bendigo footy. Plenty more to come this afternoon. And Jaden Burke is getting set to lead his team out onto Canterbury Park. The defending premiers, we get our first look at them this afternoon. The Golden Square Bulldogs taking on Eaglehawk. The early game in Bendigo footy today, Johnny, is Strathfield saying South Bendigo. It is out at Tannery Lane. A new coach for both of these two teams. Stephen Strubens and Isaiah Miller take over for the Bloods. Luke Freeman takes over for Strathfield say. No Lockie Sharp for the Storm, so it's a bit of a departure of what we've known and seen in recent years. No Nathan Horbury for South Bendigo. No Cooper Leon, no Matt Cameron. They've lost some big names, the Bloods. Can they be competitive out there at Tannery Lane today?
they're one of my big sliders, Joel. I mentioned it last week, but I don't think they can. I'm worried through the midfield to lose players like Cooper Leon and even their, and I'll call them lesser lights, but their second stringers from last year. Sam Maher's gone as well. Langley, he was a good player. So it just seems to me, and even Daniel Johnson, who played down back a fair bit, it's like the spine has been ripped from them, albeit they've got some good goal kickers up front. One of my very favourites, of course, Brock Harvey, but I just don't see them getting the use of the ball to get up forward and kick a winning score.
It'll be, it's always a big test going out there to Strathfield today. It's such a big ground and it's such a contrast to Harry Trott. Smallest ground in the league, going out to just about the biggest ground in the league. But, you know, those two teams get a look at a couple of new coaches, Stephen Strubens, of course, and Isaiah Miller. Both spent a bit of time playing GV footy for Rochi in recent seasons. Michael, they're both very accomplished footballers coming back here to Bendigo, and they get to take over the wheel at the Bloods this season. Yeah,
any side that's got Steve Strubens in it will be looking to kick a good score. It was just a fantastic forward for them, for Rochester in a couple of years back in the GVL. So looking forward to seeing how he's able to wrangle this side. I think he coached Rochi a couple of years ago too. Yeah. So yeah, definitely excited to see. Should be a good game, that one.
Absolutely. Of course, the late game today is Kangaroo Flat and Sandhurst. We know that Sandhurst enter the season as the premiership favourites, Johnny. The real question over Kangaroo Flat is, well, just how competitive will they be this year?
I'm worried. All I read about is how fit they're going to be. Their coach, it sounds like that he's got a background as a personal trainer in the forces and so forth, and there's a big rap on their level of fitness. But at the end of the day, you've got to get the footy. And Sandhurst, boy oh boy, I know they've lost Sam Conforti. He's gone over to Adelaide, and also Hamish Hoskin. But to bring in Fergus Green alone, in my mind, and Connor Sexton, I think if he plays in the ruck, he's going to take the position of big Hamish Hoskin. So they're only going to get stronger. So I'm actually fearing there's going to be a cricket score out of Kangaroo Flat this afternoon, Joel.
It could be a hell of a tune-up for Sandhurst, I'd imagine. And of course,
you're not arguing with me.
No, you're not going to get any argument from me on that particular topic. And of course, Gisborne have the bye. I was talking to Pat McKenna during the week. They've come through their practice matches all pretty well. Only Sepp Bell Bartels, who's still rehabbing a knee injury from sort of their best team, is out of action at the moment. So for the most part, they're healthy out there or down there at Gisborne, and looking forward to cracking in. They played a cracky match against Riddles Creek last week to get them going for the year. So they're looking forward to getting started. A few senior debuts for Golden Square this afternoon. Xavier Carter, Zach DeCowell, Zach Westcott on debut. Kai Daniels, of course, the brother of Dyson Daniels with the New Orleans Pelicans in the NBA.
Dash also currently competing in a finals match in the under-18s competition up in Queensland.
Yeah,
hit a triple-double the other day.
Yes, they're a very talented family. Of course, son of the legendary Ricky, whose banner hangs from the rafters at the Bendigo Stadium, and Eaglehawk going through their paces with a bit of physical contest up the other end of the grounds. When you line these two up, Johnny, what do you expect this afternoon?
I expect a strong Eaglehawk to come out today. They to bring in a player from MCDFNL medalist, the big man in Frost. That's a bonus. But also Jonty Neves. We saw him play. It must be 3 or 4 years pre-COVID, in fact, that he probably played out here.
Yep.
My recollections of watching him play, can jump, play forward.
Won the VCFL medal in their premiership year back in 2018.
Just through the middle, so really excited to get him back at Eaglehawk. They have had a couple of changes to their lineup, but they look a lot more stable than what Golden Square do, on field and off field. So I'm actually tipping probably 5 or 6 goal win to Eaglehawk, I would imagine.
Rightio, Michael?
I reckon this will probably be a really close game still. I think as we've mentioned a couple of times, but the last 3 matches have been average winning margin of 4.67 points between the two sides. The last time was a big margin was Gold Square over Eaglehawk here at Eaglehawk back in round 4 2022. So which then was 47 points. So it's if it's an arm wrestle, it'll be really close. But if one side can get a good jump on them, then I think we're going to see a pretty one-sided affair.
We're going to see big Braden Frost in the ruck first up as well.
Can't miss him.
For Eaglehawk, absolutely you cannot. Geordie Rosengren's going to be his combatant in the early stages. So Golden Square, the reigning premiers season, gets underway in Bendigo footy. Here's John Hunter.
Well, it was Rayner that went up the ruck, in fact, but getting in hand on his footy very early was Kuma. He kicks it long to the outer side, bouncing footy. Barrett will track the football towards the boundary line and we'll see it over the line. And on right half forward, we'll have another ball. We'll have a ball in. Beautiful conditions here at famous Canterbury Park. Umpire will throw it in. It'll be Frost. He'll go up against Rayner again in the ruck. Tap down, front position, contest. They'll swoop on the footy. It'll be Eaglehawk will emerge. It was a good kick forward through Mullen. He goes to the top of the square. It's in the danger spot there for Eaglehawk. We're all tied up. Umpire's letting it go. Eventually he's going to have to blow his whistle. And 30 metres out directly in front. Eaglehawk attack will have a ball up. No score on the board. Under a minute. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Bailey Isley doing a second ruck duties for Eaglehawk. Knocks it forward toward goal. Picked up by Cohen. Defence for Golden Square. Scrambles a kick outside the defensive 50. Harry Burke had a play at it and go there for the Hawks. Stewart picked it up for the Dogs. His kick was smothered over the line by Kuma. Right in front of where Trav Matheson watches on the bench for Eaglehawk. It'll be tossed back in. Beautiful day here at famous Canterbury Park. Sun's shining, a little bit of breeze coming across the ground toward the grandstand. The Borough attacking to the Simpsons Road end in this opening term. Ball in at half forward. McGlashan has a play at it off the bounce for the Hawks. Frost picks it up, tried to spin out of the tackle, spun almost back into the path there, and Evans took the handball. John Norton, one of our umpires, said he didn't have prior. The Dogs pile in on top of Billy Evans, and we'll have another ball up still at half forward for the Hawks.
That was four Bulldogs tackling, a bit like British Bulldogs in some respect.
Left half forward. Grabbed out of there by Frost. He banged it on the boot on the left and put it forward, inside forward 50. But John Coe, right on the line, takes a chest mark. Good servant for the Bulldogs, John Coe. Stuck with them in the off-season. He's just eyes are darting. Dangerous spot. He goes. Oh, big fly with a specking Rosengren. Then he's good enough to pick up his own footy. On the left, he'll bang it to half forward. Good punch from behind. Thompson getting involved with Cooper again. He's grabbed. And it was good work, Golden Square, and they'll get a free kick. Might be 50. And it is. And that was a bit of unnecessary work by Thompson there, Michael.
Very much so. Gave the free kick. They got the free kick from holding the ball. And pushed after the umpire blew the whistle, and a very quick decision to pay 50 metres on that one because far too easy for the umpire to call that one. So it looks like Golden Square through Dylan Bird. You're going to have the first shot at goal, and he shouldn't miss this one, you wouldn't think, should he?
No, and he's kicking against, he knows this ground pretty well because he played at Eaglehawk for a period of time. Let's see what Hurd does with the footy. 30 metres out, it's a poor kick, minor score to the city end. The first score of the afternoon in round one, in the completion of round one here. One behind Golden Square, they lead. Eaglehawk score sponsor Parsons Towing in Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
There you go, first one out the way. Commentator's curse, Joel.
Yeah, well, I was silent there. You two just mozzed, absolutely mozzed poor old Dylan Hurd. I'll bring it in from full back. Lovely delivery. Out to half back, came off the boot of Langford. Good to see Charlie Langford back out there. Of course, broke that collarbone in the elimination final against South Bendigo in the final series last year. Ben Thompson has got it. Right half back for the Hawks. Down the outer of the pool side of the ground, through the hands of McGlashan. Spills the Dogs' way, barrelling through was Strosh. Couldn't take it with him. Low kick up the line from Blake McGregor for the Hawks. Cut off by Coe. Little handball over the top from Drew Barrett. Almost turned over. Eventually it is socket forward. McGregor was in there again for the Hawks, but Jonathan Coe's again the roadblock at halfback. Whips the kick across the defensive 50 and puts it nicely into the path of Lockie Humphrey.
He'll come laterally further across halfback to Holt. Slides on his knee, takes a chest mark. Short pass towards the boundary line to Shelton. Shelton across halfback. Broadcast side in the grandstand here for Golden Square. Directing traffic. He'll dump it down the line. His target will be Stewart. Goes to the back in the pack, in fact. He's got his hand on the footy and put it over the boundary line for a ball in. Right in front of us, broadcast side. Golden Square by a point. 4.5 minutes gone. Opening term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Ball spins back into play in front of the grandstand. Clears the rucks and bounces on its point before it spins up to O'Sullivan. Long kick inside the forward 50 for the Hawks. Richards is up to meet it. Fighting for the footy, O'Shannessy. The Dogs' defence squeezes a kick high up and down the mine shaft, and it's plucked out of the air by Rayner. Hamish Morecambe's old number 16 kicks the cross the defensive 50. Dangerous ball cut off by McGregor of the Hawks. Low entering kick to fall forward. Richards thumped away from him. Good defence at the last moment. That was from Shelton. Spills to the top of the square for the Hawks. Still under pressure. Evans lays the tackle. Square's defence able to clear momentarily. Some desperate stuff back there. And the ball is in the hands of Hurd at half back. And they can just slow it down for a moment, the Bulldogs.
A little bit nervous there up back, but they're going to get away with it here, Golden Square, as it's down the line. But the big man floating in front of the pack took a nice mark. Was Frost, comes into the middle now. Contested footy. Little push there by Humphrey of the Dogs. And he was in the back of O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan just forward centre wing. Plays on. Goes inside forward 50. It's shallow. Richards got his hands on the footy. Good punch from behind. They're going to work it nicely. A nice handball received will now go very well for Golden Square. It was Hurd. He kicks it now to half forward. Tracking the football for the Dogs will be Thomas. Couldn't pick it up. Eaglehawk, they'll rebound. Calm. And a chain of handballs ends up with Kuma.
Kuma just whacks it off a step. Up the outer side of the ground. Couple of Dogs there. Burke floats in. Takes a good mark. The co-captain. Jaden Burke, centre of the pool side. Drives it back to half forward with a right boot kick. Frost goes up for the Borough. That was Braden Frost. Then he went to ground. Might have had one in the back. And Paul Smythe agrees. And so Braden Frost, of course, started his footy journey at Euroa. Had to Harcourt for a couple of seasons. Couple of flags there and a Berry Powell medal. And now he's in Eaglehawk colours. Goes defensively to Sam Thompson. Comes outside defensive 50 to Oscar Madden. He's got it right on the arc of the 50 at left half back. Square by a point. 7 minutes gone opening term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Madden takes his time. 50-metre ball to the wing. They'll set themselves hard up against the boundary line. Thompson might have got one high from the Borough of Freckleton. That's paid. It's Ben, one of three Thompsons out there. Short pass goes inboard.
Johnny, when in doubt, call either Thompson or Frost, I think, for the two boys today.
Definitely Thompson. Kuma now with the lobster boots will go long. He kicks it wide and then it comes off hands. Humphrey did well of the Dogs and across half back. Did very well, in fact, and it's one behind on the scoreboard. Golden Square lead, Eaglehawk yet to hit the scoreboard. 7.5 gone. Opening term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Carla Kuma playing off half back. Lads already had a good percentage of the ball. He's been doing some great work down there and really just energising the Eaglehawk forward movement.
Gives him a bit of bounce, doesn't he? Frost is he dragged the club on the ground there. He took a divot with the kick, which wasn't ideal, as he floated that one inside the forward 50. Kick up the line toward Burke, who has started forward. We saw him deployed in defence a lot last year, Jaden Burke. But he started up forward this afternoon. Ball to be thrown back in front of the grandstand here. Really, if you're in doubt this afternoon, Johnny, just call Jack or Zach. There are five Zacks out there and an Isaac. And in addition to that, there are 4 Jacks. So Jack or Isaac, take your pick and you'll pretty much be right. Here's Jack Drelfel, funnily enough, for the Dogs. Kicks inside the forward 50, looking for Macy Eaton, hard up against the boundary line. Jack Stewart kicks it across the face of goal. It is a weird inverse floating barrel of a thing. It's a free kick to the Dogs at full forward. And I reckon Daniels has been grabbed without the footy. And big Kai Daniels is going to have a set shot 20 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of kicks. I think he was trying to put a check side on that one that he kicked the goal. Got the belly of the ball, and Golden Square now have the free kick 20 metres out. Kai Daniels with his first shot on goal.
Senior debut for Golden Square. Of course, the whole family came through playing junior footy for Golden Square. Played some footy at Pyramid Hill in the interim. Now back on the footy field, lays into this one and smashes it out of bounds on the full. He has absolutely tried to hit the cover off the thing.
Can we call an air ball?
Which I think we absolutely can. That is an absolute brick from Kai Daniels. It's just about landed in the beer garden down at the hotel. Out of bounds on the full. And then Charlie Langford is probably rather confused about that. He'll take his free kick from fullback. 9.5 minutes gone opening term, and still the Dogs with the only score on the border behind.
He goes across the defensive face of goal, ends up with Jack Thompson. Thompson, beyond 50, spots up a teammate in O'Brien. Defensive arc of 50 for the Borough. Left low ball to the wing. Oh, he spotted up his teammate. It's too severe for him, O'Shannessy. Now Golden Square will bring it back the other way, but the intercept mark by Oscar Madden of the Borough. He will now bring it laterally, cross half back. Nice kick, and spots up Cam McGlashan.
So McGlashan's got it for the Hawks. 20 goals last year for Cam McGlashan. Kicked 6 against Gisborne in round 3. Was there for that game. I thought he was going to absolutely rip apart the season, but hit the scoreboard on a great deal of occasions after that. Long kick up the line through the hands of Richards for the Hawks. Paddles it inside the forward 50. Got a couple giving chase. Tom Bennett's one of them. Dogs defence again, able to hold up. Humphries flicked the handball back over at the top and then almost got it back as he was running out of play. Trying to link up with Hugh Freckleton. And it'll be tossed back in. Hawks into attack. 35 metres around from their goal at the Simpsons Road end. No goals as yet. Just the Bulldogs with 1 minus score through 10.5 minutes opening turn.
Hasn't really felt like they could hit the scoreboard. Not really potent. They've had it inside forward 50. Now the ball spills to half forward. Chasing after footy will be Kuma. He's got pace. Overran the football. O'Sullivan offering support to the Borough. But it's all the Dogs. Picked up on a half back. Kick to the wing. And that's a nice mark in front of the eyes by Lachlan Monty. Monty, short ball. It was low to 70. Oscar Madden, he intercepts for the Borough. Puts an errant handball in the direction of Jack Thompson. Couldn't get it. And underneath the scoreboard that sees Eaglehawk trail by a point, we'll have a throw in. 11.5 gone. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
They've been just feeling each other out, I reckon, at the moment. Inside 57-5 Eaglehawks way in this one. They started off like a house on fire. Golden Square getting it back a bit though now, so they're really working on trying to get that inside 50 but also inside 40 and 30 metres.
Ball tossed back in. Strosh camps over the top of the pack. A famous Golden Square name. Do it all again. Rayner up in ruck, throws a boot at it. Didn't connect. Goes to ground, drags it in, tackled, in trouble, gone. Well, he had one go at it, Tanner Rayner. He wasn't penalised the first time. He was surefire to be penalised the second time. And the Hawks across half-back. Neves across the defensive 50 with a dangerous kick. Stewart got in there to break it up. Then providing some support was Harry Burke, and the Dogs are awarded now. So it'll be a free kick to Jack Stewart. 65 from home. Premiership player last year for the Dogs. He can send them inside attack here.
Stewart, short pass. He decides against going in attack. He goes laterally to Harry Burke. Played on, stepped around nicely and far too easily. Good, strong, hard lead by Rosengreen. Hits him on the chest. 45-degree angle, sitting right on the arc of 50.
So Rosengreen back to the club this year. Played 80 games and 173 goals throughout his career.
Prolific junior goal kicker, Geordie Rosengreen.
Get a good look at this footy. We're right behind. He goes wide, he gets underneath it. Nice swinging ball, won't make the distance. Just in the front of the pack, the numbers are with Eaglehawk. They'll move it out nicely. Series of handballs. Ended up with Rails. He goes laterally further afield to McGregor, and they're away. The Borough.
It's a good kick in the end from Rouse. He sort of looked up, didn't see options, came across the face of goal. McGregor goes down the line. Going to be a free kick here to Isaac O'Sullivan. Really a bit of breeze back into the face of Rosengreen. That dropped a long way short.
I was just trying to work it out, looking at the trees behind the goals up that end of the town end.
All you're going to see there is the fake bird wobbling in those trees, Michael. There's only one of them. There used to be sort of 4 or 5 down at the town end here at famous Canterbury Park.
I opened it up for you, mate. There you go.
Yeah, the council just needs to do some work to reinstate some of the fake birds. Andrew Cooney, if you're listening, let's get some more fake birds out here at famous Canterbury Park. They were iconic. Dogs inside the defensive 50. Mickey Humphrey's got it. He chips it short to Zach DeCal, one of their handful of under-18 players who played on grand final day last year. It's a memorable contest to the Gisborne Bulldogs. Now Coe over the top. Strosh worried out of it, got a shove. And Tommy Strosh will get a free kick right half back for the Dogs. Still that one behind on the board. It is gone Golden Square's way. We're 14 minutes through the opening term. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Michael Van Dorsen with you. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Forward pass, and it was poor. Monty had no chance. Hit him on the knees and went over the boundary line for a ball in. Not reaching any great dizzy heights here.
Now, you wouldn't say it's final fight.
No. And I'll tell you one thing I'm going to do, Joel. If I don't call Hamish Morecambe number 16 before the end of the day, I'll go he.
All right.
Every time it goes near Rayner, it's just enshrined in my memory that he's the footballer. He's getting involved in. but it will be a free kick to Golden Square, right on true centre wing. With Eaton. Eaton will go into the middle. It was a neat kick. Found a teammate in Barrett. Luke Barrett goes to half forward. Was a nice mark. It was Strosh inboard, poor kick. Ango tried to intercept for the Borough. He couldn't. They've got the numbers. Evans, nice handball to Mullen. He's collared. Good work. And here's the Dogs. Here's a chance that will open up going forward. And into the pocket. Rosengreen couldn't quite grab it. Sammy Thompson dives in after the footy for the Borough. And 35 out directly in front. The umpire let it go. Spills towards the boundary line. Good, strong tackling the Borough defensively. In fact, it might be a free kick for Too High, and it'll go to Hurd for the Dogs.
You know it's close to holding the ball there, Johnny, when the water carriers are doing the signalling to say holding the ball, isn't it?
It sure is, and I don't think Dylan Hurd had this much of the footy when he was playing for Eaglehawk. But footy training. He's absolutely having a day out against his old side. He's right on the boundary line, 49 metres. It's high, it's long, it's wide. It's another minor score. That takes it to 2 behind Golden Square. The Borough yet to score. 16 minutes, opening term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Been quiet going on the scoring front. The first behind in the second minute, nothing since.
Dylan Hurd outscoring his old club by himself at the moment.
Absolutely. He's doing it very nicely. Yeah, the healthy percentage on the board if he was playing in the BFNL this season as a one-man entity. Dribbling kick up the line for the Borough toward Braden Frost, who's buffeted out of play by John Coe. Tossed back in.
It wouldn't have the percentage yet, would he?
Yes, very true.
2 behind with no score.
As soon as someone scored against him, he'd be going pretty well. Ball spun back into play. Daniels and Braden Frost. Frost for the Borough. Grashan thought he was held without it. Some of the Golden Square supporters thought he dropped it. Strosh grabbed it. Kick grabbed by Jack Thompson. And Jack Thompson wanted another go at him. He said, I didn't tackle you well enough the first time. I'm going to have another go when you don't have it. And Paul Smythe wasn't having that. And so Strosh will take the free kick for the Dogs. Chip short defensively. Ball in the hands of Jack Trelfel. Kicks to half forward. Big fly from McGregor for the Hawks. Couldn't take it with him. Trying to force the ball inside the forward 50 was Harrison Kelly. One on debut for the Dogs today. So too is Daniels. Inside forward 50. Shrugs the tackle of McGregor. Handball back outside the 50. Barrett off a step. Loads up to full forward. Big fly from Sam Thompson. Can't take it with him. Hawks have numbers at fullback. Madden, handball forward. Now to the run of Puma, who gallops outside the defensive 50, sends it up the wing.
Well, it's going to be a foot race, but I don't reckon Billy Evans reckon he can keep up to 12. He tried to grab him. Now it'll be Jonathan Coe that received the handball for the Dog. Cut kick is smothered. Running, in fact, it wasn't smothered. It was just an ugly ball off the boot. And Bennett of the Borough plays on it across half forward. He'll put it inside forward 50. Can they hit the scoreboard? Big grab! The Borough. It was a nice plunker, and it's on a 45-degree angle. It's O'Shannessy who took the mark, and he probably will step around the corner, which they all seem to like to do nowadays, Michael.
They do. And that was a good, strong grab in that regard.
The first real shot at goal. The flag here, the Aussie flag on the wing, is going to that end, and it's a poor kick. It goes wide, just sneaks in for a minor score. So, now, poor result. Lacklustre at the moment. It's 2 behind, still 1 behind. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Still no major score on the board yet. 18.5 minutes play. It's been slow going in the early stages. Quarter time thanks to Wayne Smith in the HDFL. Heath at 7-4-46 lead. Lockie 4 behind. So the grand finalists from last year in Heathcote have got a bit of a point to prove in season 2024 and doing it nicely in the early stages. Free kick on the outer side here. On the way of Frost, the lefty drops it on that boot, sends it back toward half forward. That'll be a mark and 50. Absolutely every day of the week. That was pretty silly from Bailey Isley. Humphrey took the mark, and Isley was in to just give him one over the back of the head. And Paul Smythe was straight onto that to say, no, Bailey, come with me. Humphrey kicks it toward half forward. Hurd's got another touch of it. Shares the handball inboard with Kelly back to Hurd. Put him under all kinds of pressure. Another free kick for the Dogs. Luke Holt's in there again to try and sort some physical stuff out. Sam Thompson's in there. He likes a bit of a scrap. And the free kick is going to go to Hurd once he dragged himself up off the bottom of the pack. He's at left half forward, 65 from home.
Bulldogs jumper. Hurd taking influence in this game. It's too far out to score on this occasion. He decides to go deep into the pocket. I'm not sure if I like it there. In fact, bounces towards the boundary line. And the boundary line wins. Langford tracked the ball for the Borough, couldn't get it. So 30 metres out from around the goals for Golden Square. In the fake third pocket, he'll have a ball in. Umpire throws it in. Up they'll go in the ruck. Frost doing the ruck work. It was also Strosh there for the Dogs. 30 metres out directly in front, whistle on play. And it may go to the Borough. It is.
For incorrect disposal, I believe.
So they'll work it from the back zone, the Borough, to the outer side. They'll share it around in red time. Ended up with Langford. Langford will go to the outer side wing. Frost got his hands on the football and tracked it. He got tackled well. Humphrey did well for the Dogs. Whistle on play outer side. In fact, it's a free kick. He didn't do so well. He's given away a free kick.
No, he's got one.
He's got one.
Yep.
Well, he got it. So it was a good decision to the big man Frost.
He's been impressive early. Braden Frost. That centre of the poolside wing. Comes back to Langford. In front of the scoreboard. Golden Square by a point. 20 minutes gone in the opening term. And they just need to work out that the quarters can tick past 20 minutes here in the seniors and every game past the reserves.
I was just thinking the same thing.
The clock is marooned on 20 minutes.
I was just going to say it's been on 20 for a while now.
It's okay, it's only round one. Everyone is rusty. McGlashan kicks inside the forward 50. He was hoping for Mullen, but it falls short of that and it bounces out of play and it will be thrown back in. Eaglehawk inside attack. And like I said earlier, they had it in there early and often, but it hasn't gone in there much since. Neither side's done really any scoring. Dogs by a point. We're 22 minutes into the first.
Umpire will throw it in. Up they'll go in the ruck. Frost doing the ruck work again. The Golden Square, though, flicked out to Trelfel. He was sitting at the back door, banged it on the left quickly. Contested footy. Still 70 out of goal from home for Eaglehawk. Another stoppage. Outer side will have a ball up. 2 behinds play with 1 behind. And we're in red time. Opening term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Joel, they must have heard you because there is no score on the board. No time left on the board.
I don't know whether that's an improvement or not. to be honest, big pack over the ball on the outer side. It will be tossed up again.
So the players are probably sitting going, I'm sure we've been playing 2 games by already.
I feel like this started a little while ago. Frost is up. Daniels reaches over the top of him. Humphreys handball toward the boundary line for the Dogs. Kept alive intelligently by Holt. Did really well. Sent it into the centre of the ground. Coomer up in front of his fellow number 1 in Hurd. Sam Thompson in there to support for the Hawks. Knocked it loose. Hurd picks it up for the Dogs. Tumbles it to half forward. Steers with open arms. Waits for the ball. Accepts it in. Handball to Burke. Slipped the tackle. Eyes the sticks. 45 metres out. Jaden Burke. He puts his kick out wide right. That one has bounced inside the field of play, but it will go out for a strike.
Good kick to touch there for the Dogs. I reckon it landed right on the paint of the line there. Everyone was looking at the goal umpire.
And a little chalk mark on that, Sharon. It'll be thrown in right next to the right behind post. Dogs into attack.
Both sides rusty. Madden grabbed it out of the air for the Borough. Umpire didn't play the free kick. Emerging from the pack, his goals were open, but he put it on the left. It slew towards the pocket and it was punched over defensively by Jacob O'Brien of the Borough. So underneath the big tree that houses the fake bird, will have another ball in. And Joel, the game against Maryborough and Castlemaine was the highest standard game. Yes, that's what I feel at the moment. Is it just really rusty?
Yep, we're not far from the Younger Park Golf Course, Johnny, and these are like blokes at the driving range, just trying to hit the thing, hit the cover off the thing every time they have a chance. Just pulling driver and not doing anything else. Free kick here. This is going to the Dogs, so John Norton's plucked one out.
Dangerous tackle, I believe, there, Joel.
Ty Daniels is going to have another shot on goal. He's probably about 15 metres further out, but a similar angle, and he'd be hoping to do slightly better than his last, it's fair to say.
Might have some people ducking for cover.
Maybe just ease into this one. Might have had a little bit of nerves with the first approach. Let's see if Ty Daniels can right the ship with the second. No goal on the board as yet through 24 minutes. Daniels lines up. It's an absolute copter, but it does enough. How'd you kick your first goal in senior footy, Kai? Well, have I got a story? 25 minutes into the first term, it's Golden Square who lead 1-2-8 to the Hawks, 1 behind.
Store sponsor Parsons Towing in Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. It was unconvincing, but it was certainly memorable for Ty Daniels.
That is one way to say it. Unconvincing. Boy, quite well there, Joel. The helicopter off the ball just snuck in, made the goal umpire work, but finally get a goal on the board, as he said, in what is the 25th minute of play for this afternoon's match.
Eaglehawk will win it from the restart in the middle. Emerging with the footy will be Mullen. He goes inside forward 50, puts it to the top of the square. They'll set themselves, but nice defensive work, Dog. Harry Burke will track the footy. He gets upended. They're still in the contest here, Golden Square. They are really hard at the footy. Mullen now at the Borough gets involved. It goes beyond defensive 50. Rosengren shovels a handball out, and they did well through 12 for whistle on play for a throw. I thought they were going to work it out, and they haven't. It's going to go to the Borough, is it, or Golden Square? I don't think.
Go to the Borough, because it was in I think the second one in the handball for him there, Johnny.
It was Mullen. Mullen now of the Borough. Short, ugly-looking ball. It was ineffective to O'Shanassy of the Borough. Hard up against the line, inside forward 50 by about 10 metres for Eaglehawk. They have a ball in. 8 playing 1, 7-point margin. Dogs lead, and we must only have a minute or two remaining in this opening term.
I wouldn't think it'd be a long quarter with just the one goal kicked between the two teams. Spun back into play. McGlashan works himself to the front for the Hawks, knocks it down, spills to Rosengren of the Dogs, tumbles his kick down the line. There is the quarter-time siren. So a low-scoring affair. It's been all kinds of scrappy early here at Canterbury Park. And Golden Square with the only goal so far through Kai Daniels, who had a couple of opportunities on goal. He blasted the first one out of bounds on the full. The second one didn't look a lot better off the boot, but it wobbled its way through. And that's the only major score through a quarter of football for both these teams in season 2024. At quarter time at Canterbury Park, it's Golden Square 1-8. Eaglehawk one behind. We'll go around the grounds. We'll have the second term very shortly indeed. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
459. That's the number for Central Beach Road Safer and Mechanical, a locally owned and operated business giving you your vehicle is so reliable. Providing roadworthy certificates, vehicle safety checks, mechanical repairs, logbook servicing and tyre fitting. You'll find Jeff, Kelly and the team at Shed 4, 203 to 205 Woodward Road, Golden Gully. Sponsor of Fresh FM Motorsports Program, 544 16459.
Fresh sponsor. Kim, Shane and the team at Fitzpatrick's Timber and Hardware are proudly celebrating 100 years of serving the local community. With a well-stocked timber yard, a fantastic product range in store, a great garden centre and stocking outdoor products. The team at Fitzy's greet you with a smile and are well known for their wonderful service. Fresh sponsor. Fitzy's.
Senior debut. What did you like for the Dogs in the opening quarter, Michael?
Sorry.
That's my fault.
Dylan Hurd, I think, has been playing a pretty good game through the midfield for his new side against his old side. Kai was fantastic, as we said. He's looking really good, rotating through the ruck, but also up forward. Looks good until he kicks the ball. But Jack Trelfel off half-back and Lachlan Monty, I think, have been the better players for Golden Square.
Couple of slow kids getting off the ground. We're underway in this opening term, attacking the footy with some vigour is Zach Takal in the centre of the ground. His fellow under-18 teammate from last year, Zach Westcott, went after the ball, socked forward for the Dogs, but it's cut off by O'Brien for the Hawks. Bangs it back the other way, a bouncing ball. McGlashan cleared the path, fed the handball out, kick inside the forward 50 toward Richards. He's been the only thing they've had to look at up front so far, Eaglehawk. They have not had a lot of options. Taking the ball and going to ground inside the defensive 50 was Drew Barrett. That one's out of bounds. We'll have a throw inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Who'd you like for the two Blues? No, it's going to be a free kick. So it was called deliberate in the end. It looks like an odd little sequence where Barrett just stumbled towards the line and handballed it over. And it is going to be a free kick. So it'll be Jonty Knees by the looks to take the free kick. Hasn't had too much of the footy in his first game back for the Hawks. The lefty from tight up against the boundary line goes across the face and the mark's pulled in the right forward pocket. O'Shaughnessy's got it. He is tied up against the boundary line, having marked it 3 or 4 metres away from the right hand behind post, and he's going to start his approach from up on the old dog track. Left foot kick just inside the boundary line. He's killed it home expertly. Sam O'Shaughnessy waits no time in the second term, getting the Hawks on the board this afternoon. And they've got their first of the game. 1-1-7. They trail Golden Square 1-2-8. We've played a minute and a half in this second term. Score sponsor Jason Westcott Builder. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Well, that was a very interesting passage of play from both sides there. Free kick, obviously, and then they thought they was going to have a shot at goal. Whether he was having a shot at goal, and the breeze just drifted it nicely towards the pocket, but a good mark there by Sam O'Shaughnessy, and was able to curl around the goalpost for a goal there. John.
It will be Golden Square who win it out of the middle from the restart. They go inside forward 50. Good work by Kumu, picks it up for the Borough, sends it to the wing. He's got Frost breaking for him. He'll pick it up. He laid it after. Tackling was fine by Harry Burke. Up higher, let it go. Still letting it go. Whistle on play for a push. It will go to McGlashan of the Borough. just and stands on the centre wing. In fact, just forward of centre wing. I like Coomer in that opening turn. Also Langford, Mullen, Bryce Frost, O'Tennessee and Madden down back. Had a good opening turn. The kick was long, goes shallow inside forward 50. Comes off the hands off Neves, who hasn't had a real influence as yet. We'll have a ball. 49 metres out from goal. It's a 1 point margin. The Dogs lead 2 minutes in second turn.
He's doing the ruck work inside the 50 at the moment with Braden Frost sitting a kick behind play. He just tries to tap it down toward goal. Taken by Rosengren of the Dogs. Squirts his kick outside the defensive 50. Running it across the line is Blake McGregor for the Hawks. And it'll be tossed back in front of Brad Eaton, who watches on for the Dogs.
Inside 50s, that first quarter ended up being Golden Square 13-12 over Eaglehawk in the end.
Eaglehawk had plenty of them early and really peppered it in there. But apart from Darcy Richards, they haven't really had a target emerge up front so far in the game. McGlashan's around the footy here. Goes to ground, so too does Neves. McGlashan's dragged that back in. Paul Smythe on the other side of the pack didn't view it that way, and we'll have a ball up. Still on the paint of the 50, right half forward. Hawks into attack. They attack to the town end here at Canterbury Park in this second turn.
Neves used his body well, punches it forward, looking for Mullen. Offering support was Evans. Don't argue. Under the chin. He probably gave away a free kick, but the umpire didn't agree. Offering support was Coomer. He flicks have a handball in the direction of McGregor. It's 2-on-1. They're doing pretty well here. Eaglehawk was just Thompson offering support. Handball to Coomer. Eaglehawk, they'll go forward to the top of the square. They'll set themselves. Hurried kick off the deck by Barrett of the Dogs. Still in danger. Picked up by Mullen. Handball. It was okay. It went to O'Sullivan. Short pass into the pocket. The tempo's up and about a little bit. And then hurried kick for Golden Square across the defensive face of goal. It might go out of bounds, it will. Harry Burke getting involved. And boy, I just felt like the tempo was up just a fraction. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, 1 point margin.
Hawks still camped inside the forward 50. Just into the second term out at Tannery Lane. Strathfield say 4-6-30 leads South Bendigo 3-4-22. Lockie Gill's got 3 for the Storm in their first game at home this season. Paul Smythe crosses his arms as the boundary throw and he's knocked outside the 50. Quarter time in the North Central Footy League. Donald lead Witchyproof. Narraport 4 straight to 3-4. So the Royals getting it done over the Mighty Demons in the North Central Footy League. Rosengren's kick off the stoppage. Goes into the centre of the ground for Golden Square, but it's all Hawks. Coomer puts the turn on. Kick was smothered by Stewart, who comes over the top of Charlie Langford, who couldn't keep it inside the field of play. And the ball will be tossed back in front of the Eaglehawk interchange and the Australian flag, which sits on the flagpole here on the boundary at Canterbury Park. Golden Square by a point. We've played 5.5 minutes in the second term.
Umpire will throw it in. Up they'll go in the ruck. Rayner did well for the Dogs. They've got the numbers. Into the handball was Harry Burke. It's been pretty good, but a good smother. Good work by... There's another Frost out there as well.
Yes, Bryce.
They're obviously brothers, you would think. They've both got, well, one's a little bit balder than the other, Joel, but certainly the dome.
Keep your hair jokes to yourself, John.
Is that why you're wearing a hat? No. And we've got a whistle on play. It'll be Rosengren for the Dogs. He'll send it forward.
So Rosengren goes low and hard inside forward 50. His former under-18 teammate in Jaden Burke. Couldn't take it the first time. Lovely give from Hurd. Back to Burke. Caught holding the ball. Threw a boot at it and was thrown to ground in the process. It'll have to come back here, the free kick to Thompson. And Ben Thompson will take it from inside the defensive 50. Both sides have defended pretty grimly here in the early stages, Michael.
Very much so. I think Golden Square are the ones that are doing the more defending at this point in time. And how many petrol tickets is that going to spend on them as they go forward? I mean, they are up by a point, but I get the vibe that this is going to be one of those close ones we were talking about pre-game.
3 Thompson brothers, from Jack to Ben to Sam. Now back to Jack, who drives it off half-back, right up the spine of the ground. Coming in to crash the pack was Ilesley, couldn't take it with him. Shelton's kick across the centre of the ground's a dangerous one. Straight to Braden Frost, he can reload from the Hawks from right in the centre.
Gives it by hand to Engo, who'll go inside forward 50. It was a poor kick. Trokel got a hand in there for the Dogs. Now they're just about to tie it up 40 metres out from goal. Probably could have been a better kick in from Engo. Made his teammates work.
Inside 50 count this quarter 5-2, John.
That's Eaglehawk's way.
Eaglehawk's way, yep.
as they'll move it through Evan. Handball to Thompson. This is Ben. He goes to the square, but defensive marks taken. Rolling back will be Freckleton. Did well for the Dogs. And he'll bring it back to where it came. Dangerous kick. It come off the side of the boot, but was effective in the end. Just a nervous tick. Rosengren gives it by hand. Slipping over. It must be a throw. Umpire's going to let it go. Skills are not really up. Emerging with the footy now. It's a long kick by Stewart. And Golden Square got on a half forward.
Toe poked forward by Eaton up toward the forward 50. He just keeps it alive, Macy Eaton. Battles and fights his way forward. Good tackling pressure. Grabbed his Thomas. He's dragged to the turf for the Dogs. Right on the front edge of the centre square. Zach Bolger was in there on the tackle for the Hawks. We'll have a ball up. 55 out from the Hawks goal. Controlling it down is Frost. Grabbed by Evans. Rosengren is straight onto him. You're not going to come away from too many Joey Rosengren tackles. And we'll have another ball up. Rayner and Frost to go up in ruck. Square by a point. 8.5 gone second term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Free kick here going to Rosengren, who can put the Dogs into attack. In fact, it goes to Holt, who handballs to Rosengren. Beautiful delivery to Burke. Can he juggle the mark? That's a spectacular take.
No.
Burke came out, went through his hands, up in the air. He lunged backward and to his left, but Paul Smythe said he didn't clutch it before it hits the turf. So it'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for the Dogs.
Disappointing. Jeez, he looked like he took that mark for mine. Eaglehawk now, they're under pressure. Picked up by Rosengren, flung his neck and his head back, just trying to get the umpire's attention that he won't fall for it. And we'll have a ball up directly in front.
It'll be interesting to see how we go here with Eaglehawk trying to defend grimly like Golden Square have done for the first part of the quarter as well.
To the Simpsons Road end, Golden Square in attack. Freckleton, hacked kick out of the pack, bounces there. Nice bit of work. Just stepped around was Nate Burke. He did well. He was hard up against the line. A little bit of a toe. Well, it was like a little bit of a dance. And he got his boot on the ball and popped it through. So some hard work there for the Dogs to get onto the board. That'll take them to 2-2-14. They lead 1-1-7. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor JB Re-Stumping.
Yeah, fantastic there by Jaden Burke. His little toe step across was very reminiscent of what Carla Kumik was able to do up here as well. He's taking some lessons from the young fella. But Golden Square are taking the most of their opportunities at the moment. They're getting the chances into attack and they're taking the opportunities, whereas Eaglehawk are struggling to find key forwards up forward.
Jaden Burke, one of 8 premiership players out there for the Dogs this afternoon. Kyle Stevens has got this from the restart. Defensive hand pass. Links up with Westcott. Wide kick from Monty. Sets Thomas a task. Spilled a ground out on the outer side. Nicely gathered in the end by Stevens. Sends it inside the forward 50. Daniels the target through his hands. Thompson at ground level. Dogs have got numbers around the footy. Trying to flick the handball out towards Strosh, but it'll go out for a throw-in. Right forward pocket, 40 metres around from the Golden Square goal. They're 2-2. The Hawks are 1-1. 11 minutes played, second term on Fresh Bendigo.
Umpire will throw it in. And Norm Jenkin, who's picking pink ladies at the moment, reminds me the Frost brothers are premiership players at the Apple Eaters at Harcourt. Of course he does. As just a bit of stagnant play. Ground level, 40 metres, 45 out from the Dogs' goal. Simpson Road end, another stoppage, another ball up. 7-point margin, Dogs lead. Gone 12 minutes into this second term. Umpire will throw it up. Up they'll go in the ruck. Freckleton doing the ruck work with the Dogs. The ball is ping-ponging around. Emerging with the footy will be Eaton. And in fact, he might have been grabbed and incorrectly disposed of the footy.
Come off a boot there. The boundary umpire signal out of bounds on the full. So I think he's been very unlucky there, Macy Eaton.
Yeah, I think he might be too. Short pass. Eaglehawk with the footy ends up with Jack Thompson.
So Jack Thompson defensively to Langford. Can play tall or small, Charlie Langford. It's Trav Matheson. So many options down back for the Hawks. Rolls off and kicks long down the outer side. Richards hasn't taken one cleanly as yet. She had a fair old piece of that not to be paid. It goes across the boundary line. It'll be thrown back in front of the pool side, just attacking side of that wing for Eaglehawk, for Golden Square, I should say. 2-2 the Dogs, 1-1 the Hawks, 12.5 gone second term. Out at Tannery Lane. Fresh Bendigo score update. Strathfield say 4-7 lead South Bendigo 4-5. Early stages second term there, so the Bloods are putting up a good fight early. Here's Bryce Frost, sends it inboard to Blake McGregor for the Hawks. He's just defensive side of halfway. Loads up on his right boot, sends it to the edge of the 50. Richards 2-on-1. Couldn't take it, but it's spilt to Isaac O'Sullivan. Handball over the top to Mullen. Back to O'Sullivan. Left forward pocket. Outside of the boot. Right to the line. Coe slaps it through. And rushes it behind for Golden Square. Makes the margin one straight kick. 13 gone second term.
Truffle plays on from fullback. Goes his measure, then sends it long to the outer side wing. He was looking for Strosh, comes off hand. Strosh keeps his feet, taps the ball in front of him, then he sockers it 30 metres forward. It'll go shallow inside, forward 50. Coomer's after the footy, he sockers it well. What are you doing out there, lads? Wrong sport it is. Thompson getting involved. That is Jack, and it might be a free kick. It is, 1 for 2 high. It goes to Jack Thompson of Eaglehawk. Short pass. Eventually ends up with McGregor. They're sharing it around to the wing. Now to McGlashan. Defensive side of centre wing for Eaglehawk. He'll slow it down and have a good look forward.
Managed to find himself in a hole with no one within QE of him at the moment there, Cam McGlashan. So he called to play on now, though.
Chips it over the top. It's a presentation from Mullen. So for a bit more midfield time, Joel Mullen. Improving player for the Hawks in recent seasons. Spun the footy in his hands while he waited for an option and then spun it one too many times. Almost dropped the thing. Good enough to regain his composure. The ball and offload. High kick inside the forward 50 for the Hawks. Braden Frost's the target. Richards crashes the pack, spills out wide. Mullen gets a boot, so in fact it was Bryce Frost who goes around the body to fall forward. Carter with a lovely pick up at fullback for the Dogs. Handball was under pressure though. Bursting through for the Hawks is Rouse. He has to backtrack. Jack Thompson off a step. Left boot, steadies, goals. Ben Thompson, in fact it was, who's able to ram it through on the left boot. And the Borough draw level here in the middle stages of this second term. 2-2, 14 apiece. Eaglehawk with both their goals in this term. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott, builder. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yeah, it's been an arm wrestle for them, but they've been currently draw level from Eaglehawk. 8 inside 50s to 5 in this quarter, and I tell you what, they are having to work and work and work. Not the greatest of handballs coming out of defence there by Golden Square either, and I'm sure Brad Eaton will be highlighting that one in the match review later this week.
From the restart, in the middle, Golden Square, they won it, put it to left half forward. Hard up against the boundary line. Good strong tackling by Stewart, Golden Square. That was on Oscar Madden. We'll have it a ball in.
Just back to the Carter handball. It was the aggressive option to come up and play assertive and attack the ball. He just worked himself into a little bit of trouble.
Right. Frost got a push. Umpire didn't agree. Let it go. Freckleton wins it by hand. Just danced there, Hurd. He'll go now long for the Dogs. He'll put it inside, forward 50. Bouncing footy to the back of the pack. They need to kill it over the line. And they do. The Golden Square players screaming at the umpire for a free kick. Didn't try to keep it in. Probably didn't, but disguised it well enough. Hard up against the point post. Scores a level, 14 apiece, halfway through this second term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
You'll find her hard pressed to be given in the country.
Entries inside forward 50 have left a bit to be desired from both teams. Freckleton took it out of the ruck, got tackled. He was able to force Frost off the football and then couldn't get rid of it. And so it'll be a free kick inside the defensive 50. Billy Evans to take it for the Hawks. Sends it out wide to the pool side. Couldn't find a teammate on the end of it. Carter's able to slide in and take it. He comes short to Hurd. 70 from goal for the Dogs. Scores tied at 2-2. 16 and a half gone second term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Hurd dumps the Dogs inside forward 50. Rosengren's the target. A couple of Hawks there. Free kick going to the Dogs. Rosengren's got a free kick out of that. He can't have. No, it's going to go to Daniels. Because Rosengren backed into the pack. And so Kai Daniels has got it tight in the right forward pocket.
Sorry, just trying to work out what that one was for, whether it was holding the man or which one it went. So Looks like he's going to go check side outside of the boot here, Joel.
So third shot on goal for Kai Daniels. He's getting tricky with it. And he's missed that one. He's full of confidence, the young man. Tried to screw that one around the corner on the check side. He does hand Golden Square back a 1 point advantage. 2-3 to 2-2. 17 and a half minutes gone in this second term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor, JB Restumping.
He's got one of each here, Kai, today. The goal of behind and out of bounds on the full.
He's stuffing the stat sheet.
Langford for the Borough. Plays on from fullback. Kicks it broadcast side. They'll set themselves. Neves
Good work.
had his name written over it. Then he plays on quickly. In fact, it might be 50. I'm not sure what Strosh did. He might have got into the
Protected
area. Play on's called. And go. No, he can't play
Can't
on.
play on from there.
They're trying to take advantage.
Has to go over the mark.
And was it a mark? Anyway, can you do it?
But you have to go over the mark
Yeah.
from where they set the 50-metre minute penalty.
So let's reset. Jonty Neves now stands.
Play on is the call.
Played on. He's too far out from goal. You go inside forward 50. I'm not sure Angove was the intended target, but he was the recipient for the Borough. Takes a mark, a pretty low dart, and now he'll have a shot at goal 40 metres out.
That's not great defensive effort from the Bulldogs, I don't think. I think they need to be looking at that one as well, because for a while there, Angove had some time just to slide in and just say thank you very much.
He was in the right spot at the right time. Angove now. Poor kick. Poor kick, just sneaks in for a minor score, and opportunity wasted again. Rusty, as we talked about, levels it up once again. 2-3 apiece, 15. 19 gone. Second term. Score sponsor Parsons Towing in Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
I've left a few out there, these two teams. Kick in from fullback through the hands of Angove as it made its way to Stack Shelton. Good tackle from Strosh up here on the broadcast wing. He's able to run down Tom Bennett, and we will have a ball up. Broadcast side wing. Bailey Isley and Tanner Rayner to go up in ruck. Isley had the better of the tap. Ben Thompson there at their feet. Rouse jams it on the boot. Awkward spinning ball up toward half forward. He's easily cut off. This Golden Square young defence who's probably just trying to get their stuff together still early in this season. Long kick from Trelfall down the line, and Strosh, really good hands from the youngster, takes the mark.
Doesn't muck around. He sets it long for Rosengren. Gave him a task. Doing well there was Langford of the Borough. They'll tie it up 40 metres out, directly in front. The kick by Strosh just didn't hit the mark. Put too much pressure on Rosengren. Another stoppage.
Tanner Rayner did really well at that marking contest down here. Didn't infringe or anything, went up for the mark, but knew he had a player with behind him.
We're going to have a secondary stoppage here as the ball was thrown up and it got messy, as it does. So we'll try to do it again. 15 apiece. 21 minutes have gone in this second term. I don't know whether this game says more about Golden Square or Eaglehawk, but it's certainly not reaching any great heights. Emerging there is Ben Thompson now for the Borough. Off half-back, and he'll send it to the broadcast side wing. Bouncing footy. Strosh wins it. Handball. Oh, he didn't quite connect with it. It's just stepping out of the back, which was Rouse. Did nicely to Angove, and Angove will kick it to half forward.
He only finds Coe, though, who stands in the hole and marks for Golden Square. Shifts it into the centre of the ground, opens the game up. Monty down low, nice pickup, feeds the handball out wide. The overlap run here is provided for the Dogs by Harry Kelly. He pops it over the top out wide. Barrett has a play on it, can't keep the ball in front of him, and it'll go to ground. And it'll be locked up at right half forward. Might have been Stewart, in fact, who had a play at the ball for the Dogs out there on the edge of the 50. But they are into attack here, Golden Square. Scores tied, 21 and a half gone second term. Rucks go up. Monty dragged off it, didn't have it. Ben Thompson picks it up for the Hawks. Teammate squeezes a kick out of the contest, but only as far as Jack Trelfall for the Dogs.
Sends it shallow back inside forward 50. Collected by Eaglehawk was Rouse. He's doing pretty well. Shares it with a teammate who puts it on the boot quickly. Bouncing footy. Golden Square got a chance now through Trelfall. Handball forward to Holt. Getting involved as the ball goes inside forward 50. And a chest mark has been taken by, did you pronounce that Tickell for the Dogs there, Joel?
Yes.
It looks like Tickle to me, but I'll go with Tickell. I've never spoken...
E-double-L, not L-E, maybe?
I've never spoken French before, so there's my first go at it. And he will have a shot on goal. He stands with inside the centre square, marginally. Now he'll cross the line of half forward, approaches the 50 chalk mark. Inside 50. It'll be a long, high ball. Simpson's rode in and slams it through with a slow, deliberate, good goal. 3-3-21 now. They will take the lead to 2-3-15. Only a minute or two remaining in this second term. Score sponsor, Parsons Towing in Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
That was a beautiful kick of the ball from Zach Tickell. He's just came on. He came onto the ground not long before that. Got into the right spot at the right time. We talked about that a couple of times. 40 metres out on a 15-degree angle, but fantastic work. He's now lining up on the wing here against Brady Rouse, who's been influential, but just kicking and hoping a lot of the Eaglehawk defenders.
Thoughts of Michael Van Dorsa on Fresh Bendigo. Joel Peterson, John Hunter with you. Great to have your company on this Saturday afternoon, round one in Bendigo football. You're listening on 101.5 throughout Bendigo and Central Victoria, or free on the Community Plus radio app. Joel Mullen tosses it back to Paul Smythe, ever so slightly in it forward of the centre circles for Golden Square. Another stoppage straight down to Evans. He's grabbed immediately by Trelfall. Do it all again. Pye tosses it up. This time Braden Frost tries to take it clean out of the ruck. Dogs emerge. Holt. Long kick into the pocket. Rosengren and Daniels are both there. Daniels has kicked that out of bounds on the full. That bounced off his hand onto his boot as he stumbled forward. It went low and over the chalk. And so it'll be taken on the last line for the Hawks by Jack Thompson.
So Eaglehawk deep in defence with Langford. He'll spread it wide and deep. Evans is the target, hits him with a chest mark. From one side of half back to the other. Evans been relatively quiet. Hasn't got a lot on offer. Looks a little bit frustrated when he kicks it. Then he goes down the line. Angove at the back of the pack received. Then he got tackled. Somehow manages to keep his feet. Using his body well for the Dogs with Rayner on the outer side wing. Will have a ball up. 6-point margin. Dogs lead 21-15. 25 minutes. Second term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Both teams have been pretty sloppy in front of the footy so far today, Michael. They've been left a bit to be desired in the link-up connection stakes.
It'll be interesting to see what the Premier Data stats come out of with tackles and forward half pressure in that half in that regard, because it just seems to be living between the arcs between the two sides.
Frost had it. He got grabbed by Holt. Free kick to Luke Holt. Couple of time North Central Footy League Interleague representative, of course, came across from Wedderburn along with Geordie Rosengren in the off-season to land here at the Dogs. Kicks up the line. Almost a mark taken. In fact, it floated out of bounds on the full. Is it a free kick or is it out of bounds on the full will be the only question here. It's going to be the former to Harrison Kelly, another of those under-18s who played under Rowan Wharf and Paul Hamilton last year, who progressed to senior footy this afternoon on debut. Kicks inside the 50 or right to the edge of it. Burke juggles the mark. Nicely taken. He's right at the junction of the 50 and the boundary. Sets it to a dangerous spot. Eaton has a run at it and plucks it. Macy Eaton from the back of the packet wasn't paid. Spilled to Rosengren. He throws it on the boot and the Dogs get the goal anyway. Geordie Rosengren, he knows where they are when he's wearing blue and gold. He makes no mistake there, and he kicks the Dogs fourth at the 25-minute mark of the term. 4-3-27 to the Hawks, 2-3-15. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
Well, don't know. The umpire was clearly watching something different than what we saw with the touch ball call, but they managed to think their way through it and were very smart in that respect. A couple of handballs ends up with Rosengren to kick his first of the afternoon.
Restart in the middle. The ball comes out quickly by Mullen. He wins the ball and puts it inside forward 50. Eaglehawk, they've got a chance here. Picked up by Neves. A handball to the hot spot. Harry Burke doing well for square. Gives it off to Trelfall. Spreads it further wide to Hurd. Hurd now. He'll go down the line. Outer side. Oh, it was a good hard hit at the footy. It was Coomer of Eaglehawk. Now it's spilled. Contested footy. Ground level. Ball is still on the ground, picked up by Coomer again. Might have got one for too high. His Endeavour one out, and he'll have a free kick out of side wing. 27 playing 15. Dogs lead, 27 and a half gone, second turn.
Coomer sends it high inside the forward 50. Neves from the back. Richard stood under it, couldn't take the mark. Bryce Frost came through the pack, he gave it away. Coe's kick around the body's a good one in the end. Handball over the top from Eaton, went looking for Trelford, couldn't track it down. And then a pretty solid tackle is laid out there by Harry Kelly. Umpire said that was okay, spin it in the fake bird pocket. The ball will come rotating back into play. 12-point lead the way of Golden Square. How did Tannery Lane, South Bendigo, hit the front against Strathfield say? 6-5 plays 4-11, so some inaccuracy costing the Storm. There's 2 minutes to play in the second quarter of that one.
Can I do my footy tips again for the end of the year?
I think you may not be alone with that. 12-point lead to Golden Square here, deep into the second term. Again, another stoppage, still inside forward 50 for the Hawks. We'll do it all again.
I've learnt, Joel. The clock's still going at 28 minutes.
Love that.
It's good. Good to see.
Dogs here too impressive. This is not the way I thought that this season would pan out, albeit we're only 2 days in. But yeah, good fight here by the Dogs, and they did exactly that on that occasion.
Telling me you trusted Eaglehawk?
Well,
that's a dangerous game.
Well, I'm first to admit it. I had Golden Square out in South Bendigo, and based on what I'm seeing in the first half of the, second day of the season, as we've got another stoppage. Inside forward 50.
Yes, how many players? 18 players they've lost, Golden Square, from last year.
A lot.
It is a lot, and yes, it is a full side effectively, but it's
quality players.
It's something that there's other ways they can work on it as well.
Neves for Eaglehawk picked it up from that stoppage. Had a go at goal that just bounced to the wrong side of the post, which means we've got a throw in. Hard up against the point post. The fake bird pocket. 15 playing 27. Dogs lead, and it must be almost half-time, 29 and a half minutes gone.
Spins back into play, the ball. Neves won it down. Mullins on the end of it. He was grabbed. Umpire said it was okay. It was Evans, in fact, who came charging through that pack. Billy Evans, such a hard matchup. The former Brisbane Lion. Paul Smythe sends it aerial again. Neves comes crashing down with the ball. Free kick paid off the footy here by John Norton from the centre of the ground. Said Neves was caught high as he went to ground. And so Jonty Neves will have a shot on goal. He's 25 metres out. He's good as directly in front, kicking to the town end, and he will kick after the half-time siren, which means one thing, Johnny.
He won't play on.
Thank you very much.
He won't play on.
So to make it a one-goal ball game after the half-time siren, Jonty Neves on return to Eaglehawk. He wastes no time endearing himself to the locals again. And the Hawks flock in to celebrate with him. 6-point margin at half-time between Eaglehawk and Golden Square. And they're having a little bit to say to one another here at half-time as well, these two teams. They just come together to exchange some pleasantries. Haven't seen each other in a little while through the off-season, just reintroducing themselves. And Geordie Rosengren was thick among the action there. Half-time here at Canterbury Park. It is Golden Square 4-3-27 to Eaglehawk 3-3-21. We had just one goal kicked in that first term of footy. We had 6 between the two sides in that quarter. So 4-3 plays 3-3 at half-time. Goal kickers in the opening half for Golden Square. Zach Tickell kicked a goal on Kenya Deboo with a lovely set shot from up to that break in that second term. Kai Daniels kicked the only goal of the opening term. Jaden Burke's got one and Geordie Rosengren's got one for the Dogs. And for the Hawks, Sam O'Shaughnessy kicked one in the opening term. Ben Thompson has a goal. And Jonty Neves with the goal after the half-time siren to make it a 6-point ball game, 4-3 to 3-3. It's been scrappy. Hasn't been the cleanest affair so far, Michael Van Dorsa, but certainly got a game in our hands at half-time.
Certainly do, and you can tell Brad Eaton's mantra, I think, already for Golden Square is going to be high-octane pressure and lots of tackling in that respect, because I think, I'm not taking the tackle count numbers, but I reckon the tackling, I think Golden Square would be up on that tackling count ground at the moment. So it's been, while it hasn't been pretty, it's been good to watch in the tackle stakes.
Absolutely, it hasn't. But these two teams are both, especially Golden Square, over many years, Johnny, they've had a pretty defensive identity, and they're leaning right into that.
They certainly are, and the players that have brought in, the 5 debutants, and we've been calling them throughout the game, it's just, they've brought that mantra, as Michael had said, and bringing in Dylan Hurd from Eaglehawk, he had a quiet second term, quieter, but geez, he was making a difference, and Harrison Kelly started to get his hands on the footy. Kai Daniels made a couple of errors in my mind, but still he's another young player. So look, not all doom and gloom, which has all been forecast for Golden Square, based on what we've seen on one half of footy.
By some. It was forecast.
Yes,
I'm not sure everyone was writing quite as happy to write the dog as you were, Johnny, but that's okay. That's why all these predictions are so much fun in football. Out at Tannery Lane at halftime, South Bendigo 6-5-41 lead. Stratfield say 4-11-35. Lockie Gill has 3 goals for the Storm. Zach Sims, the only recorded goal scorer for the Bloods, but you could imagine that Brock Harvey and Stephen Strubens would be among the goal kickers there. Thanks to Wayne Smith. Halftime, Heathcote 10-4-64. Lead LBU 3-7-25. Birch has 3, Grindlay 2, Sard 2 for the Saints. Halftime, Leachville, Gunbower 4-8-32 lead. Colbo 4-4-28. So a big return to footy with the LBFL getting started, the HDFL underway, MCDFL footy's going, and Bendigo footy is alive and well as well in season 2024. So plenty more of those scores to come throughout the course of the afternoon. Of course, we'll run you through the first half here. When we come back very shortly, we'll take a look at our best on ground so far for sponsor Bendigo City Framers as well. It's halftime at Canterbury Park. Round 1 in Bendigo football. The reigning premiers doing it by 6 points at halftime, but Eaglehawk are well and truly in this ball game. 4-3-27 Golden Square to the Borough 3-3-21. We'll step aside and we'll be back here for the second half. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Castlemaine winners on opening day back on Good Friday, and it is Golden Square and Eaglehawk here at Canterbury Park this afternoon. Strathfield Saints South Bendigo also underway. It is the Bloods by a goal in that game. Kangaroo Flat and Sandhurst gets underway at 4 o'clock at Dower Park. And
it's a weird time, isn't it? 4 o'clock?
It is a strange time.
I would have thought they would have, like, if they go properly at night, do 6 o'clock and, or start at 2 o'clock. Is it?
It's an odd time to be right in the middle there, even at 4:30, and let some people come here and then go and watch the end of that one or something like that. But at least they're willing to stick their neck out and do something different, the Roos. So good on them on that front. Of course, the A-grade netball in that is going to be an absolute belter. Kangaroo Flat last year fell short, knocked out in a semi-final, but we know that Jaden Cowling's put together another really strong team this year, recruiting Chloe Langley to come across from South Bendigo alongside Chelsea Satori and the absolute bevy of stars that he's got in that competition. Ash Ryan, a former Betty Thompson medalist as well. And Sandhurst, of course, the three-time premiers before their run was upended by Gisborne in that thrilling A-grade grand final last year. So if you don't want to go and watch the football this afternoon, that will be worth the price of admission alone on the netball courts there at Dower Park. In the other A-grade netball game this afternoon, so on the netball courts at the moment, it is Strathfield Saints South Bendigo. South Bendigo 16 leads Strathfield Saints 14. Eaglehawk got off to a winning start in their A-grade campaign, 44-33. So that game's just wrapped up over on the netball courts here at Canterbury Park. Goal kickers in this game. Zach Tickell's got one for the Dogs. Kai Daniels has got one. Jaden Burke's got one. Geordie Rosengren has one for the Dogs. For the Hawks, it's Jonty Neves, Sam O'Shaughnessy and Ben Thompson. The Hawks trail by 6 points at half-time. Johnny, our Best on Ground award this afternoon, of course, thanks to sponsor Bendigo City Framers throughout season 2024. Who's in contention for the Two Blues?
Yes, and they get a $100 voucher from our sponsor to go towards jumpers, pictures or whatever. So I actually really struggled in that second term to find better Eaglehawk players. Kuma probably continued on with his good form from the opening quarter. Langford at times got involved. Joel Mullen at times, but no real consistency. Angove, Marcus Angove, I like his intensity at the footy, but a little bit inconsistent. So Bryce Frost at times. So with no real confidence do I give you the better players, which is an indication of the quality of this game and the fact that they're trailing by 6 points, Michael.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I can't find consistent good players for Golden Square either. I think there's Hurd's come in and out of the game, Rosengren's come in and out of the game. Threlful at the back line's been pretty handy consistently throughout the day, but Eaton even got into it during that second quarter as well. Interesting to note the inside 50s, 25 to 22 Golden Square's way. So they're +3 in that, which they'd be pretty happy with, I would have thought. And they're probably even on the tackle count as well. So exciting to see what this second half's going to bring.
So let's get into it. Second half. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Golden Square, the reigning premiers by one straight kick. Here's John Hunter.
Well, we're going to have a secondary bounce, a ball up, because it all got congested in the middle. Half-time in North Central as well. Donald 4-2. They trail Witchy Proof 6-4-40. As we've got a throw up again, Frost taps it into the direction of Mullins of the Borough. They'll go inside forward 50. O'Shaughnessy with the target, but way too severe for him. He looks a little bit digested down in that forward pocket as he sees the ball tumble over the boundary line and will have a ball in.
A couple of other scores from the North Central. Half-time, Wedderburn 11-4 leads St Arnaud 4 straight, so 46 points in that game. And Sea Lake Mandaly lead Bort by 12.
Simpson Road end, out of side. Umpire throws it in. The Borough in attack, 30 metres out from goal. Mullen swooped on the tap from Frost at the Borough, but he was all tied up by Rosengren playing down back. And we'll have another ball up, 20 metres out from goal.
Mullen was just absolutely going for it in these first couple of clearances.
So up they go again. Billy Evans this time is latching onto the tackle here. Tom Strosh trying to emerge with it. Another opportunity inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Repeating the half-time score at Tannery Lane. It is South Bendigo leading Strathfield Saints. Out in Strathfield Saints. So that is a significant result at half-time at least. Another stoppage inside forward 50 here for the Hawks. Can they try and break the congestion and level the scores up once again? Strosh had the jumper grab. That'll be a free kick. Clear as day for Paul Smythe to pick that one out in the back pocket for the Dogs.
Short pass by Strosh to Rosengren. He's deep in his defensive zone. Simpson Road at his back. Long shadows here. Sun is shining. It's cool as Rosengren switches to the outer side. Coughed it up. He's kicked it straight to Rouse of the opposition of the Borough. He goes inside forward 50. Juggling ball, Ben Thompson isn't paid. Humphrey tackles him. Ball shoveled out forward by the Borough. Picked up by Rosengren of the Dogs. He's got time and space. His kick, it's poor. Might have been smothered as well. Angove couldn't pick it up for the Borough. Whistle on play. Free kick. Might go to the Dogs, and it will. And it goes to Drew Barrett.
Won't be getting this on name a game, I don't think, this particular contest this afternoon.
It's horrible, let's be honest.
Skills have been really, really poor, and especially the use inside 50 from both sides. Long kick down the line from Barrett. Through the traffic, trying to work his way forward was Jaden Burke. Kuma slid in. Yeah, free kick here. Was he taken high? Yes, he was. By the opposite number one in Dylan Hurd, who's been busy so far this afternoon against his former side. Here's Langford, drops it long inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Richards up among the pack, gets out the back, picked up by Bryce Frost. Over the back, an easy goal for Jonty Neves. One either side of half-time for Jonty Neves. He kicked one going into the break. He kicks his second coming out of it. And 3 minutes into the third term, we're tied away once more. 4-3, 27 apiece. Eaglehawk and Golden Square. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers.
I love those, Joey, the goose over the top for Neves. But interesting play. The free kick was given away down here on the broadcast win. A quick handball inside and then a long kick inside attacking 50. And it's the first time we've really seen either side go deep into attack. And they win the benefit of it.
And they'll win it out of the middle again. Eaglehawk, it goes deep inside, forward 50 to the back of the pack. Neves again in the area. They didn't muck around getting it forward again, the Borough. We'll have another ball in.
4-0 the inside 50 count this quarter so far.
The Borough, deep in attack now. 20 around from their goal. Frost tried to grab it out of the air. He couldn't. Rayner getting involved for the Dogs. Gives it to a teammate, Holt, who swings it across the face of goal. Bouncing footy to the boundary line. Neves picks it up. Steps around a player. Goes on the left. He goes goalward. Richards, who's been pretty quiet as well, watched it sail over his head for a behind. Must be a little bit frustrated, Richards, I would be. It's been dumped on his head a number of times. As the Borough take the lead by a point. 28 playing 27. 4 minutes gone, third term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
First lead change of the day. First time the Borough have had the advantage in the ball game. We've been tied away twice, and Eaglehawk haven't led until this point. 4 minutes into this third term. Jaden Burke had it, lost it, dispossessed. Kuma gets rattled. Taken high. Harry Burke is really onto him fiercely there. And Kuma will drive it high and long inside the forward 50. Ben Thompson's upstairs. There's a free kick off the ball. Evans has gone down. And it's going to the Hawks here, and it'll be downfield. And I'd say it'll end up with Mullen. No, it's going to be Sam O'Shaughnessy, who was nowhere near anything and ends up with the ball.
And I reckon it was simply Burke upended Evans. As simple as that. As simple as that.
So Sam O'Shaughnessy for his second. It's off the side of the blue. It's a poor finish. He really poked at that one and missed it badly in the end. So 2 point margin the way of the Hawks. 5.5 gone third term. Score sponsor, Parsons Towing Castlemaine on Fresh Bendigo.
Sam O'Shaughnessy's second behind of the day. Kick 1 goal 2 now.
Strosh will bring it in from fullback for the Dogs. Simpson's road in. Unsure where to go. Brings it broadcast side. Looked for Shelton. Shelton got tunnelled. A good old-fashioned tunnel it was. Ended up on his back, but he's okay.
Langford saw. Charlie Langford saw there, Johnny, and he looks like he's favouring maybe a shoulder.
That's a shoulder for sure.
I mean, you consider this is his first game back from a pretty serious injury in that neck of the woods, and he does not look comfortable.
He's actually holding his collarbone.
Well, that's what he broke in that final.
Is it the same arm or different arm?
Pretty sure it's the same.
He's cradling
certainly that's the one that's taped.
Well, he's cradling it the same as you do when you do that kind of injury. In his jumper. The ball's now long to the wing. Golden Square, Dogs through Eaton. Handball was too severe. Evans emerges with a Borough. Bullet ball. They're moving it nicely forward now, the Borough. And finally, Darcy Richards. Good lead. It's honoured, and he gets a good result. The ball hit him right in front of the eyes. Couldn't do anything else but mark it, and he'll have a shot at goal. Only 35 out, pretty much straight in front.
But they're getting the ball in deep now as well. They're not getting those shallow inside 50s that they were getting in the first half. So these goals, the goal that they got earlier and these shots at goal have been coming from inside that 40-metre mark.
Much better after half-time, Eaglehawk. He's had it dumped on his head all afternoon, Darcy Richards. Now he gets his chance. Poor kick. Oh, no, he's kicked it. Gee whiz, he made the goal umpire work. He ran to the goal post and said, no, that's pretty good, as Darcy Richards punches the air, and that takes the lead further ahead now. It is Eaglehawk 5-5-35, 4-3-27. Score sponsor, JB Restumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo, and we've gone almost 8 minutes in this third term.
So since the 27-minute mark, well, they've kicked 3 goals here, the Eaglehawk 2 Blues.
So they've really forced their way back into the ball game and then some. Good news is Charlie Langford looks okay down there on the bench, so might just be on the top of the shoulder there. Hopefully a little stinger to the AC joint or something rather than something a little bit more nefarious. Of course, the last game of last season against Sandhurst, I should say, in that round 18 clash, he did the collarbone, so they'll be hoping for the best on that front. Ball just rumbles around from the secondary stoppage in the middle. Mullen finds a bit of space for the Borough. Tumbles the kick inside the forward 50. Out after it is Olsley. He's pushed off the ball. It's kept alive, basketball style. Nice little dribble move there from Tom Bennett. And then the kick skews off the side of the boot. Dogs defence just hurriedly trying to clear things, and Richards has ended up with this ball. He's 60 metres from home. Drives a long footy to fall forward, does Darcy Richards. Up in the pack is Olsley. O'Shaughnessy's grabbed it on the goal line and jammed it through. He took it off the pack, and a metre inside the chalk. Sam O'Shaughnessy went up on the tippy toes and put it through for another. That's 4 on the bounce for the Hawks, who've come flying out of a half-time break. And they now lead by 14 points, 6-5-41 to the Bulldogs 4-3-27. And we're 7 minutes into this third term.
Unbelievable the way they've transformed at the half. The Eaglehawk side, 9 inside 50s that's come off the back of. They haven't let, Golden Square have barely got past their attacking circle, the attacking side of the circles, to be honest. So see if they can do that off this clearance.
Back in the middle, it will be Eaglehawk that win it. Coomer on the end of it, who bangs it inside forward 50 again. At the back of the pack, O'Shaughnessy and Richards. He's having a bit of a purple patch. He goes inboard by hand. He received it back. Now on the outside of the boot, which slews across the face of goal. Bouncing footy. Isley tracks it over the top by hand. They're putting the pressure on. Ango, he gets involved as well. Bouncing ball toward goal. Just sneaks in for a minor score. And Will Robinson has just made an appearance. There are danger signs here for the Dogs. 42 playing 27. The Dogs trail 10 minutes gone. Third term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Lockie Humphrey to bring it back into play for the Dogs. Into Carter in the back pocket. Score's tied up. In fact, Stratfield say have got the go-ahead goal out at Tannery Lane. 6-12 to 6-6. Inside defensive 50 here, the Dogs. They're really under pressure at the moment. Bennett, he grabbed Shelton, and umpire says holding the ball. They're really on top of the arm wrestle at the moment, the Hawks. And Tom Bennett's got it at right half forward. He'll dump it long into the pocket. Olsley the target. Evans there as well. The latter gets a shove over the boundary line. And it'll be thrown back into play. Right forward pocket, 15 around from the Hawks' goal. They lead by 15 points after trailing for the entirety of the first half. Golden Square had control, and the Hawks have wrestled that back in a big way.
It'll be Frost against Rayner of the Dogs. Frost got his hands on it, then lost it, then picked it up out of nowhere, tried to make a path and gets tackled. Got slung to the ground. Rosengren's a strong man as well, wouldn't let him go anywhere for the Dogs, and we'll have another throw up. Another ball up. Directly in front. 30 out. Up they go. The Borough attacking again. They'll emerge through McGlashan. Dishes it off to a teammate who smashes it towards Richards. He hit the pack and hit the footy. Hurried kick out of the backs of goal. Might be Isley who's got the foot to that ball.
Bryce Frost, maybe?
Frost. Well, just pick it up for you now. I'm going with my first call. I reckon that's Isley, who has hit the scoreboard. He picked up the ball, went around the body and banged it through for another one. 7-6-48, playing 4-3-27. The Borough kick further away. Score sponsor, Parsons Towing in Castlemaine. 12 minutes gone. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Well, they just keep willing it forward at the moment to Eaglehawk. It's just trying to push it forward. And as I said a couple of times, the fact that they're getting in ball deep into attacking 50 is what's getting them this lead, and looks like it's going to stay that way.
This has been quite the surge from the Hawks, and now even when the Dogs do scramble it forward, they've got the answers. O'Brien's behind the ball, takes the mark from a clearing kick of Golden Square out of the stoppage. Coomer laces one down the broadcast side wing. On the bounce, it's trapped by Carter. In short to Harry Burke, who felt the pressure and spilt the mark. Picked up by Frost. How did he get rid of it? Umpire said it was okay. Rouse is there. Harry Burke dives on top of him. Surging forward, handball for the Dogs is cut off by Coomer, who goes on hand. Gee, that was pretty easy. Little instep there from the player in Frost. Now the ball inside the forward 50 for the Hawks. Ball in the hands of O'Brien. Tumbles it inside. It's an awkward kick. Down low, Freckleton. That was smothered. Frost ran it down. Bryce Frost lays the tackle as well. Inside defensive 50 for the Dogs. He tries to surge it out. This Eaglehawk pressure just continues to mount and ramp up at the moment. Harry Kelly scrambles it outside the defensive 50. It's coming back in. Long entry for the Hawks. Richards, the target, gets out the back. Minor score. They are really piling it on. Square haven't scored in this third term. Eaglehawk has added 4 goals, and they lead by 22 points, 14 minutes in.
Strosh tricks it in from fullback, and he's kicked it straight to Madden of the Borough. Now Madden, beyond 50. They look strong now, Eaglehawk. It's a different footy side. Oh, he put it in the path there of Isley, who got his fingertip on it and couldn't quite drag it in. 49 out from goal now. Dogs under pressure. Humphrey getting involved. Handball as a teammate gets collared. And it's a free kick again, is it? It was Strosh. Couldn't get rid of the footy. Isley, who's been prominent in this third term, will get a free kick. Pretty tight angle. He'll kick it just on 50.
I wonder how much the not getting out there to do a bit of a warm-up in this second half is playing on the Squares' mindset at the moment. They were held for so long in the rooms, not whether they couldn't hear the siren or not, I don't know, but they just had to run straight out there.
Isley, it's long, it's high, it'll go to the line, off hands. Geez, they were lucky that they had big players in the goal square there, Rayner in particular for the Square. 50 playing 27, halfway through this third term, scores sponsor Jason Westcott Builder.
I'd love to hear Travis Matheson's half-time address as well. I wonder he gave them a big old serve. Humphrey's driven it back in. It's picked off by Angove. Kicks inside the forward 50. An awkward one.
Oh.
And that's a free kick, is it, to Owsley?
It is a free kick.
Play on an advantage. McGlashan's kicked the goal. The advantage isn't going to be paid. Gee, the Golden Square defence is hideously stiff there. So Owsley went up for the mark. The Golden Square defender fell in front of him. Owsley fell forward over the top of the defender, and now he's going to get 50.
For what?
That's a free kick that probably wasn't there, and now it's just corporal punishment for Golden Square. Owsley just about slams it onto Simpsons Road, and the Borough are really getting the rub of things now. That's his second in the term. And Eaglehawk have kicked 5 goals in half a quarter, having kicked 3 goals in the entire first half. They are 8-8-56. Golden Square 4-3-27. The margin is 29 points. The Hawks did not lead for a second in the first half. Score sponsor Parsons Towing Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
And it's come on the back of just consistent pressure coming out of the centre square. 16 inside 50s to 0 in this quarter.
They feel like they haven't got it beyond half forward. as they'll creep towards it now, Golden Square. Not if Mullen's got anything to do with it, because he tracked the footy. Sam Thompson getting involved for the Borough as well. And hasn't Isley given them a target down there? He's certainly a contender for our sponsor, Bendigo City Framers $100 award voucher at the end of the game.
Didn't do anything in the first half.
He didn't.
He come out with like a house on fire.
He had a lot of mates, don't worry about that. Ben Thompson shoveled it out. Now it's tracked by Stevens of the Dogs. Humphrey received a handball. They're going backwards. They're going nowhere, in fact. Holt getting involved on the end of a short pass. Now we go forward. Kicks it to Eaton. Eaton just forward of centre. He's got the run of Carter. He honours it. Carter, he's got a lead. They'll set themselves. Mark Rosengren. He was at the front of the pack. He had them all bearing down, but held his ground and pretty much clunked it, and will have a shot at goal. Not much of an angle. The man on the mark will stand on 32 metres.
Well, that was more like it from Golden Square, just the way that they were able to transition that one through. And then the kick inside, attacking 50 to a good, strong lead from both Daniels and also from Rosengren, and Rosengren was at the front of the pack.
Best bit of play by the Dogs for the second half. Rosengren slams it through. That's his second. So they're close enough if they're good enough, the Dogs. That'll take them to 5-3-33, trailing 8-8-56. Score sponsor, JB Re-Stumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Well, it stops a run of six consecutive goals. Yep. Jordan Rosengren, though, has kicked 2 consecutive goals himself for Golden Square.
He has that fair distance apart between his and... Well, he's the only player that's kicked goals in that 6-goal run, isn't he?
Yep.
His second goal, he kicked the one before Eaglehawk kicked 6 in a row, and the one to break the drought as well. Here's Holt out of the middle. Skews one off the side of the boot. Bouncing ball up towards Jaden Burke, who's been well held today by Oscar Madden. Here is a chance for Burke. Took the handball, tried to whip her a little one around the corner. And the Hawks have got numbers. Mullen, awkward handball, pinched by Rosengren, 55 from home for the Dogs. Kicks to no one in particular, but Burke's gone back with a flight and taken a terrific mark. Jaden Burke tracking it back in flight over the shoulder, pulled it into his chest, collided with Madden, and he's got it 40 out on a 45-degree angle left of centre.
Had no right at all to take that mark, but he willed himself towards it and got his team, trying to get his team back into this.
So for a couple of quick ones here for the Dogs, Burke from 45 metres out lines up and just sneaks it in. Couple in a row for the Dogs. Burke's got a pair on the day. And they just stem the bleeding here in this third term with a couple of their own. 6-3-39. They trail Eaglehawk 8-8-56, having led for the entire first half, the Bulldogs. And that is thanks to score sponsor Parsons Towing Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. John Hunter, Joel Peterson, and this man, Michael Van Dorsa.
Well, that one before from Rosengren stopped 22 minutes of no score from the Golden Square Bulldogs. But they've been able to go back-to-back, which is what was needed for the game, John.
Restart in the middle. They'll have a secondary throw-up. We're going to have 3. A triple play. In fact, it might be a free kick. It'll go to Frost, the big ruckman, the premiership player at Harcourt. He's got an awkward-looking left on it. Goes 55, 60 metres. Hits inside forward 50. His target was Richards. It was a little bit askew. Now it's a contested ball. McGlashan tries to make a path. He can't make one. Also getting involved was O'Sullivan. He couldn't win the footy either. Boundary line wins. 30 around from Eaglehawk's goal. Simpson Street End, 56 playing 39. 21 gone third term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
We said Harcourt Premiership enough to keep Norm happy this afternoon, Johnny, do you think?
Oh, well, I think so.
I hope so. Being thrown in there through it. Not as many times as the fake bird pocket, but that's okay. You know, there's priorities in life.
He wasn't happy that we didn't want to find Maiden Gully. That's another story.
O'Brien comes over the top. Here's Thompson in the centre of the ground for the Hawks. Sam Thompson, free kick. He's going the way of Hurd for the Dogs.
Bird's been quiet this quarter.
Chips it short to Rosengren. Defensive side of centre. He kicks it straight into Bryce Frost on the mark. Coe comes in. He wraps up Frost in the tackle. Nice bit of defensive work from the first game Hawk. And we'll have a ball up between the wing and half back Dogs defending here in this term. They've had to do a lot of work at this end of the ground. They've conceded 6 goals, but they've kicked the last 2 of the game. It's a 17-point spread at the 21.5-minute mark. Mullen bounces off the tackle, and then he ran straight into another one. But Stevens grabbed him high, and Joel Mullen will take his kick from inside the centre square. Tries to gain some ground. Skews off the side of the boot under pressure. Low toward Richards. 40 out from his defensive goal. Picked up there. Doing well around the corner was Kelly. Now the ball's in the hands of Thomas for the Dogs.
He'll spread it wide to Hurd. Hurd takes it outer side wing. Looks to move it quickly. Target will be Monty, who's been pretty quiet. Pack hits the footy. Umpire lets it... No, he doesn't let it go. In fact, Monty will get a free kick for one over the shoulder. Plays on quickly. Gives it by hand. They need to be careful. Trofel the man with a footy. Oscar Madden may be offended. Umpire didn't agree. They'll get away with it. Evans, short pass. And he hits up Bryce Frost. Plays on quickly. He's got a player out. Outer side. Handball inboard. Goes to Bolger. Bolger now inside forward 50. O'Shaughnessy's the target. Tries to tap it. Might have been held without the footy and was. He looked straight at the umpire because the ball was sitting at his feet. And the Dogs player had him. And it will be a free kick pretty much directly in front.
Slingshot football's just killing both sides at the moment. I think when they get the opportunity, both sides go quickly. And now it's Eaglehawk's turn. Momentum gets such a big rap in modern footy these days.
Simpson's Road end. O'Shaughnessy to extend the lead. They've had a good third term here. Oh, he almost tried to shin it. It was low and hard, but it was straight. That's his third to O'Shaughnessy. It was a tired old kick. Doesn't matter. He managed to put it through. 9-8-62. The Borough. They lead the Dogs 6-3-39. A minute or two remaining in this third term score. Sponsor Parsons Towing in Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Brad Eaton's going to be having a chat with his teammate three-quarter time about, because something will need to happen. I still, it's not insurmountable, this margin at the moment. It's only 4 goals. But the way they're playing, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, when you've only kicked 6 for the game, it's pretty tough sledding. Clearing kick out of the centre for Eaglehawk. It's going to be tracked down by Sakal for the Dogs. And he has another play at it, but can't keep it in front of the grandstand here. Good support for Golden Square in the grandstand. The majority of the fans up here are probably in blue and gold. Most of the Eaglehawk fans congregated around the canteen and the club rooms area away to our left. Ball will be spun back into play.
Might have to come back.
Counter umpire got absolutely zero purchase on that. And that's just slipped off the thumb.
He looks shattered too, Joel. Have a look at him.
He looked pretty flat. He's just going to have to put the head down and have another crack at this one. 25 gone, third term. That's much better. That's a beautiful throw in. Nice little arc on that one. Bolger at the stoppage for the Hawks. Forward handball. Frost is ridden into the ground in a really strong tackle from Stevens. And we will have a ball up. Front point of the square. Hawks into attack. They've kicked 6 goals in this third term. They've opened up a 23-point gap.
Frost doing the ruck work for the Borough again. But another stoppage.
Lucky we're not on an overcast day, because that throw in from the boundary umpire would have brought rain, I reckon.
Left half forward. Borough in attack. Rosengren tried to make a path. Flung his head back, trying to draw a free kick. Umpire Norton wouldn't have a deal of it. Up they go. Frost again. Probably might have even been won by Daniels, who's doing a bit of ruck work as well. And we'll have another stoppage. Marginally forward again. We're at 50. Simpsons Road end. Borough in attack. They lead 62 playing 39. 26 minutes gone. Third term.
Good to see Charlie Langford's back out there. He's had that shoulder re-strapped and he's good to go after we all pensioned him off coming off the ground. Long kick inside the forward 50 for the Hawks. Deep entry from Jacob O'Brien into the path of Evans. He couldn't take it. 30 out from the Hawks goal. Coe defends desperately. Scrambling kick out is pinched. Isaac O'Sullivan, he fires it on goal! Oh, there was just a fingertip to it. The outstretched arms of Tom Strotch. And he got a touch on it before it crossed the line. Margin is 4 straight kicks the way of the Hawks. 26 gone. Third term, thanks to score sponsor Bendigo City Framers.
And hit up Trelfel in this defensive zone for the Dogs. Now beyond 50. His players are lining up to take that mark. Now a short ball inboard. Mullen's lurking. They're going to cough it up here, the Dogs, if they're not careful. Emerging with a footy will be Holt, who's been pretty good. Dishes it off to a teammate. Now they're out with Coe. Coe, an ugly along the ground ball. In fact, it's either out of bounds on the full or insufficient intent. Doesn't matter, it's going to be a free kick to Eaglehawk. They won't muck around. Short pass ultimately ended up with Sam Thompson standing on half-back. Sam Thompson, short pass, hits Angove. Angove, he'll handball it forward. Kuma getting involved. Now he's away, and it's a long, low ball inside forward 50. Poor kick's cut off. And it'll be Strosh, who's doing a good job down in the back half of Golden Square.
Plenty of work to do. They all have back there the Dogs here in this term. Stevens out wide to Trelfall. 9-9 plays 6-3. 27.5 gone, third term, turnover again. Neves for the Hawks, drives it inside the 50, onto the chest of Richards, plays on and whacks another one through. And celebrates with the fans up at the Simpsons Road end. That's 7 in the term for the Hawks. Darcy Richards gets himself on the board with another. He's got 2 for the quarter. And Eaglehawk builds that lead back up to 5 kicks. 9-9-63, plays 6-3-39. In fact, 10-9-69 it is now for the Hawks. 28 gone, third term. Score sponsor JB Restumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Yeah, they just can't stem the bleeding here at the moment, the Bulldogs, and they're seeing a 17-0 run just evaporate before their eyes.
Back in the middle they go, doing the ruck work will be Daniels for Golden Square again. And we'll have another stoppage just forward of centre for the Borough. It's a 30-point margin. Perfect conditions out here to conclude. Well, it concludes tonight really at Kangaroo Flat, but the majority of round 1 finishes today. Kuma grabs the footy and runs for Eaglehawk, puts it in the path, a bouncing path of Richards, overruns the footy as it tumbles over the line. We'll have a ball in. 30 around from the Simpsons Road goal end. Long shadows. Sun is shining. Good opener here at the famous Canterbury Park for their first game of the year. Up they'll go in the ruck. It'll be Frost. Wins the tap. Oh, it might be a free kick. It is. Advantage is paid. And there's no advantage there. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the umpire brings it back. He doesn't. And it will be a free kick. And it'll be Daniels with the footy.
Drops it on the right boot, sends it long out toward the pull side. Jaden Burke's there to make a contest. Dogs win out. Clearing kick forward from Coe. He just whacks it up the line to gain ground. No one's there. And that will be paid a throw-in. So, Jonathan Coe, that's about as deliberate as you get in country footy if you're ever going to see one paid, and not even that one rankled the umpires sufficiently to draw a free kick against. So it'll be tossed in underneath the scoreboard. It reads 6-3-39 Golden Square. Eaglehawk 10-9-69. And keep in mind, Golden Square led for every single second of the opening half, bar the first minute and a half. We've crossed half an hour here in this third term. Bolger drives it back the other way for the Hawks. Mark to O'Shannessy right on the paint of the 50. Halsley wants it in the square. That's where he delivers it. In fact, it's Evans who gets in the wrestle, brings it to the front of the pack. Richards tried to get boot the ball. Evans at ground level. He can't either. Barrett's there on the last line for the Dogs. High clearing kick out toward Humphrey. McGregor stands in the road, goes to ground. Couple of Dogs to fight with. Barrett and Stewart both there. They do enough to bring the ball to a stop. Right on the forward 50 for Eaglehawk.
30-point margin for Borough. What a third term they've had. They come out snarling, and they've done a pretty good job in this third term. McGlashan tries to get out on the end of a handball. He just didn't take it with him. Ben Thompson as well. Might have got one too high. Umpire let it go. Now it'll be a long ball from the contest through Stewart. Very good mark by the big ruckman in Raynor. Now he goes short to Burke. Burke just fell over his own feet. Intercepted now by... He's back on the ground as Langford, as Joel said. McGlashan also offering support. Paul kick. Rosengren intercepts off half-back. He'll spread it wide. And now they'll launch from the outer side wing, and this will be through to Cal.
Gets onto his right boot. Low kick up toward half forward over the head of Rayner. Running onto it, trying to trap it was Harry Burke, trying to find his brother in the pocket. And the siren beat Golden Square's advance. It was a third-term Borough blitz. 7 goals, 6 from Eaglehawk in that third quarter to open up a 30-point lead as we turn for home here at Canterbury Park. They all got in on the act. O'Shaughnessy's got 3, Ilesley's got 2, Neves has got 2, Richards has got 2, Ben Thompson's got 1. Just the 5 goal kickers for Eaglehawks, 10 on the afternoon. For Golden Square, a pair to Rosengren, a pair to Burke, 1 to Daniels, 1 to Takal. And they've got some work to do here with Brad Eaton, the first-year coach, at three-quarter time. Eaglehawk 10-9-69, Golden Square 6-3-39. We'll have the final quarter here from Canterbury Park. All the around-the-ground scores and more on the other side of this. Stick with us. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Live Saturday afternoon local football.
And it is Eaglehawk with a massive turnaround in that turn. They trailed by a goal at halftime. They lead by 5 at three-quarter time, 10-9-69 to Golden Square 6-3-39. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Michael Van Dorsen with you. Great to have your company. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. Major football sponsors this afternoon. Parsons Towing, Castlemaine, Jason Westcott Builder, Bendigo City Framers, and JB Restumping, our sponsors for our broadcast here at Canterbury Park this afternoon. Around the grounds in Bendigo footy, three-quarter time at Tannery Lane at Strathfield, say 8 goals, 15-63, leading South Bendigo 8-7-55. At Dower Park, early stages between Sandhurst and Kangaroo Flat in the late game this afternoon. 3-1-19 to 1-1-7. That game started at 4 o'clock, so just on 25 minutes ago. If you're in the area today and you want to see some local footy, you can whip out to Dower Park and see that game, as well as a terrific game of A-grade netball that'll happen on the courts there this afternoon. Three-quarter time in the Heathcote District Footy League, thanks to Wayne Smith, as always. 15-9-99 Heathcote to LBU's 4-8-32 at three-quarter time. And in the third term, a close one between Litchfield Gunbow, 5-11-41, and Colburn Abbon at 7-6-48. It is 5 goals the spread here at three-quarter time between the Dogs and the Hawks. 2 to Darcy Richards, 2 to Jonty Neves, 2 to Bailey Isley, 3 to Sam O'Shannessy, and 1 to Ben Thompson for the Hawks. For the Dogs, 2 to Geordie Rosengren, 2 to Jaden Burke, singles to Kai Daniels and Zach Tickell through 3 terms. Johnny, you said at halftime you were struggling to find too many that were in contention for our Best On Ground award, thanks to our sponsors, Bendigo City Framers. Had plenty to pick from in the third term for the Hawks.
Certainly did, Joel. It was a lot easier in that quarter. Bailey Isley had a really good, strong third quarter, providing a target up forward, as did Darcy Richards. He's one of those players that gets the fast muscle twitch, if you know what I mean by that, Joel. The Gary Ablett type, the old Gary Ablett type. Certainly his philosophy at the football provided some potency and a target up forward. Joel Mullen, I liked the fact that he was getting his hands on the footy. And also Sam O'Shannessy, the young man with the red hair. I like the red hair. He's got those locks going at number 25. He kicked 3 goals, Joel, and you're a young player. You're starting to head towards a pretty good game with a quarter of footy to go.
Absolutely. Michael, for the Dogs in that term, it was a difficult one for them.
Yeah, definitely it was. And I was just having a look at the huddle at three-quarter time, trying to work out if they were copying a spray or if they were copying a talking to. And I think the talking to was the option. It wasn't. It's obviously, as we've spoken about a fair bit of time throughout the coverage, it's a new Golden Square outfit. It's a new way that they're looking at it. And I think Brad Eaton's just like, righto, that's one for the memory bank, and we'll go back and have a look at what we needed to do. Tom Straunch, I think, was fantastic down back. You guys mentioned it throughout the call as well. In that quarter, he really did what he could to try and hold back. I think Geordie Rosengren was doing some good stuff at both ends of the field. He's got 2 goals now, but he did some stuff down back to start off with. And whether that was something that threw him a little bit, I don't know, but he's tried to help out wherever he can, and you can see him lining up in the middle now. So, it's all to play for in this last quarter as the umpires just look to get some people off the field.
Yeah, there's been some stragglers out here at Eaglehawk this afternoon. I think that's fair to say.
Interesting they leave them, they're allowing them to stay inside the grounds, but right up against the fence.
That's par for the course out here at Canterbury Park. It's a beautiful ground to watch footy out up on the old dog track. You get a nice little vantage point inside the fence. We're underway here in this final term. Eaglehawk by 5 goals as we go into it, but as we saw in that third term, no lead is safe the way this game is being played this afternoon. Secondary ball up in the middle of the ground. Rayner reaches up for the Dogs. He can't tap it out cleanly. Rosengren's there to provide some muscle and just whack it up toward half forward. Bouncing ball out in front of Hurd and Sam Thompson. The ladder for the Borough did well. Pushed Hurd past the footy. Bolger picked it up. He got grabbed by Hurd. Handball forward for the Borough. Trying to run onto that cleanly was Rouse. Did enough to get rid of it. Handball back to Sam Thompson. Kicks up the line and big Braden Frost sits under that. Centre of the poolside wing. He can drive the Hawks forward.
Frost just takes his time. Left footer, 50-metre ball. Target was Richards. Shelton come over the top for the Dogs. He might be hurt. Strosh, he just give up that footy. Holding incorrect disposal for sure. And Richards getting involved early in this last term. Looks to play on quickly. He's got a lead on and he's hit up. He's hit up. Oh, no. No, I thought there was going to be a mistake earlier. That's why I got excited. Ango, another error. Series of errors. Now we're on half forward. In fact, it's now half back for Rosengren. And boy, wasn't there some excitement in that little passage of play?
Cue the Benny Hill music, I reckon, on that
sort
one.
of. Sort of some excitement, some amusement.
Up and down like a yo-yo. I didn't know which direction it was going to go.
Jonathan Coe got an absolute gift before he then gave an absolute gift, and it was sort of summed up the afternoon, really. Rosengren kicks down the line. Gee, Daniels, look at the explosiveness from Kai Daniels coming up and charging at that football, launching at it. Couldn't take it with him. Thompson across half back for the Hawks. Handball to Rouse. He had it and lost it. Looking forced to low. The overlap from Sam Thompson. Couple of plays at the ball from Holt for the Dogs. Gave it up. Ben Thompson back the other way for the Hawks. Into the centre of the ground for Neves, who's 80 from home. Overlap run provided by Mullen. Low kick inside the 50s. A beauty. Onto the chest of Bryce Frost, who sprawls forward to mark. 45 from home. 30-degree angle right of centre.
Just really well done there by Mullen. Knew where he was going, Joel Mullen, and kicked out right into some space for Bryce Frost to go and take a good mark low down.
Must be mentioned, he's a premiership player at Harcourt, Johnny.
Really?
Yes, he is.
Last year?
No, Norm Jenkins reminded me last 2 years, as a matter of fact. Yes. Here's Frost, right foot kick. It's a viciously swinging ball. It sort of started and looked like it might go left to right, then it went back the other way, right to left, and through for a minus score. 31 points the margin for Eaglehawk, 10-10 to 6-3. And we've played 2.5 minutes in this final term. Local footy lives on Fresh Bendigo.
Which way Eaglehawk kicking this end, Joel?
Kicking up to the town end, up toward that fake bird pocket.
That's what I was looking for.
Freckleton now of half-back's got the footy for the Dogs. Good spot up. He'll get a free kick here, or mark. Harry Burke, inside forward 50. Good build-up. Burke to Burke. They are brothers, you say, Joel?
Yep.
There's a bit of size difference between them. One's been eating their broccoli and the other one hasn't. The one that has got the footy at the moment. That's Jaden Burke.
Jaden might have whacked Harry on the head a few times, just, keeping growing.
It's a good kick. You'll have to be to get this one to the Simpsons Road end. Man on the mark stands at 47 metres. Burke, It's long, it's high, and it's handsome. And he punches the air, shows the muscle, and is that an indication they're still in it? He's third of the afternoon. 7-3-45, the Dogs. 10-9-69. Score sponsor, Parsons Towing in Castlemaine. Plenty of time left in this last term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Well, it starts with the first goal, and they've got the first goal of the last quarter. Would have been what coach and staff, Brad Eaton and crew would have been very happy with, and they needed to do that. And they've been able to do it. So to see a good hit-up lead there by Harry Burke, and Jaden just said, thank you very much, I'll take that.
It's kind of the first box ticked for the Dogs. Just get the first and go from there. Geordie Rosingham's going to get the clearance for Golden Square as well. Goes inside the forward 50. Here's Burke again. That one was overcooked for him. Madden's out the back for the Hawks. He can share the handball with Langford. Off a step. High kick down the line. It'll be cut off. And a nice bit of work from Harry Kelly. Mark 70 from home for the Dogs. Centering kick straight to Frost. Don't kick it to the biggest man on the ground. That's exactly what he did. And Frost, he has a runner going past in Bolger, who shares it out wide. Nice ball drops into the lap of McGregor for the Hawks.
Looks nervous, McGregor. Send it back in its offensive zone. Looking to go corridor, or in fact, spread it to the outer side. Langford with the footy now. Trots and then kicks it. Mullen, short pass forward to Sam Thompson, got his hand on it. Probably wasn't a target, Evans was. Now it'll be a turnover. Emerging to the footy will be Hurd. Long kick, gave it to a teammate, inside forward 50. Contested footy. The Borough emerge. It'll be O'Brien. Goes towards the boundary line, outer side, and we'll have a ball in.
Another good kick for touch there from Eaglehawk. Finds the chalk of the paint. And the umpire's tossing it back in at centre wing.
25-point margin. 5.5 gone, final term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Rayner and Braden Frost. Rayner takes front spot, wins it down. Tried to find Trelfel on the end of it. Couldn't take it cleanly for the Dogs. Fighting for the footy is Jaden Burke over there. In fact, Holt puts his head over it. Over the top is Kelly. He can't get it free. And we will have a ball up. Three-quarter time. Newbridge 11-7-73 to Bridgewater 9-9-63. So, gee, that'd be a bit of a boil over in the opening round of the LVFNL if the highly touted Mean Machine can't get over the line at home against the Maroons in that first game of the season. Ball out in front of the scoreboard again for another throw-in. Three-quarter time in North Central footy. Donald 7-8 to Witchy-Proof 7-5. So that's an absolute belter as well. 11 points the lead of the Stratfield Say Storm out at Tannery Lane, 66-55. That game's in the last quarter too, so some great action around the grounds in local in Central Victorian footy.
Stoppage again, left half forward with Eaglehawk in attack to the fake bird pocket end, not pocket. Don't go near the pockets. Let's go near the goals, which they have since half time. Still a little bit of a sniff, the Dogs, if they're good enough. Trelfel received a handball of the Dogs, put it high and long to the wing. Running was Stewart of the Dogs. Another high ball inside forward 50. One-on-one contest. Ball spills. Man in the hot seat is Daniels. He picks it up and then he goes round the body. Good use of the body. At the top of the square. It'll be a Dogs mark. And it is Harry Burke who has taken it directly in front and will slot this to make it a very interesting margin.
Yeah, it will be. Daniels did well to keep his feet in that regard. The ball came in high and kicked it on the fat side just to find his teammate.
The Dogs are still in it. It's gone through, and that is a goal to Harrison Burke. It's first of the afternoon. Tightens up the margin now to 8-3, 51, 10-10-70. We've only gone around 10 minutes in this final term. Score sponsor, Parsons towing in Castlemaine. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Tell you what, this is an exciting game of footy. We'll be down to three goals, one margin, 19 points. Still a long way to go in this one. We're only 8 minutes in, so it's going to be an interesting one, Joel.
The voice of Michael Van Dorsa with you on Fresh Bendigo. Joel Peterson, John Hunter calling the footy for you this afternoon. Trust you're enjoying the coverage wherever you're listening. Evans out of the middle with the soccer for Eaglehawk. Through the hands of his opposite number 2. Barrett in defence for the Dogs. He's dragged to the ground. We'll have a stoppage. Three-quarter time in North Central footy. Birchip Watcham 12-4. League Nullawal 9-5. It's a 17-point ball game. The NCFL in that one. 19-point ball game here at Canterbury Park. Ball ricochets forward out of the stoppage. Humphrey and Ben Thompson both aren't going anywhere. Ball inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Last 2 of the game, the way of the Dogs. Off the stoppage, here's Frost. Left foot kick. Round the body, O'Shaughnessy flies. A couple of Dogs knock it away from him, including Coe, who seeks and finds the safety of the boundary line. And it'll be tossed back in, deep in forward 50 for the Hawks in the left forward pocket.
Just quickly, boys, 12 goals kicked to the left of screen or the left of your radio dial end this game. So far.
Umpire will throw it in. Frost wins the tap down the throat of McLashan. Looking for Thompson by hand. Fumbling footy. Hack kick out of the air. Looking for Burke by the Dogs. It goes to half-back. Handball over the top. He's cocked it up, Burke. That's Jaden Burke. Slinging tackle. Bolger was the victim. Umpire didn't agree. Didn't give a free kick.
Why wouldn't you kick that there?
It was a little bit hurried under pressure. They've done it a few times, I reckon, the Dogs, as the ball tracks towards the boundary line and goes out of bounds.
They've tried to
have the ball in.
I think they've tried to handball a bit too much in that situation. They need to put it on the boot and kick it. You can kick it further than you can handball, that's for sure.
Harry Burke playing out of full forward at the moment with Big Brother a little bit higher up the ground. Ball slung back into play in front of the scoreboard. Big Frost off the ground at the moment for the Borough. Coming off and really blowing as he made his way off the ground. So this could be an opportunity for the Dogs. With a pivotal player off the deck at the moment, Kyle Stevens. No one's on the mark, so he plays on, gets to halfway, kicks to right half forward, flares it out in front of Strosh and Burke. Will it stay inside the field to play at will? And Jaden Burke picks it up, throws it on the boot. Here comes Daniels! Kai Daniels pulls it in at full forward. There was no one checking him. He's taken the mark 20 out. He can kick his second and make it what would be a 13-point game.
A couple of good screens off the ball there for Kai Daniels to come forward and just take that uncontested mark.
So Kai Daniels, slow, deliberate approach. Can he settle over the shot? No, he's flared it out to the right. Minor score, 3 straight kicks the margin. 11 gone final term, 8-4 to 10-10. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo. The Hawks by 3 kicks over the reigning premiers.
Boomer will bring it in from fullback for the Borough. It's been good in this game.
Gone quiet though, a little bit lately.
Played on, ran his measure, then sends it long to the wing. Richards had a lot of the footy for the Borough. Didn't quite have enough purchase on it. And we'll have a ball up. Just congested at the bottom of the pack. Halfway between halfback and the wing. Eaglehawk. Freckleton picks it up for Golden Square. He gets tackled. Another stoppage. 18-point margin. 12 minutes gone. Final term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
And they generate a few more scores here, the Dogs. Freckleton just whacks it forward, straight to McGlashan of the Hawks. High kick up the broadcast side wing. Coe sits under it in front of the pack. 2 hands to it. Richards crashes in from the back. Forces it to the front. The tackle's laid by Humphrey. And we'll have a ball up right half forward for the Hawks. Darcy Richards a little bit sore, picking himself up off the turf. Shadows of the grandstand lengthening over the broadcast side of the ground. We're at right half forward for the Hawks. Controlled nicely by Isley to McGlashan. Had the kick smothered. Ricocheted back to Holt. Handball to Strosh. Handball infield. Looking for Eaton. Slaps it on only as far as Mullen. He got grabbed by Kelly. Crowd here thought it was a free kick. Paul Smythe disagreed. We'll have a ball up.
I think he was looking straight into the sun there and trying to shoot his eyes from that regard as well. So
Right in front of us. What a position we've got here. Among the people in the grandstand. I reckon we're going to have another stoppage here.
at what point did the Eaglehawk bench start getting a little bit concerned? They've gone 15 minutes now, almost 16 minutes without scoring in this game.
That's
You know, there was 22 minutes that the Golden Square didn't go without scoring, but then Eaglehawk scored goals in that time too.
There's certainly a lot left in this game.
We've seen a bit of it in last quarters over the last season of it as well, Eaglehawk.
Billy Evans with the free kick. Short pass. It's effective. It's with McGregor. McGregor now, inside forward 50. They'll set themselves. Richard was caught deep. Then somehow a juggling mark at the back of the pack has been plucked out by Isley. And it was just a sea of massive arms, and he just kind of plucked it from nowhere. And Isley, well, distance won't be a problem, and neither should accuracy, because there's not much of an angle. Kicking to the fake bird end, the city hand here at Eaglehawk.
Up to 9 mentions now.
We'll get you over the line for a lot more than that. Isley ran far too close to the man in the mark in my mind and sprayed it wide for a minor score. Could be a handy point though, as that takes it just beyond 3 goals. 71 playing 52. Halfway through this final term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Still plenty of time here for the Dogs. Humphrey into Stewart in the left back pocket. Standing in the sunshine in front of those spectators, enjoying things from inside the boundary line. Oh, it was a dangerous kick toward Coe, but Tickell was good enough to make something of it. Got it off to Barrett. Barrett's long right foot kick to half forwards. A bouncing ball in front of Kuma. It was tucked on and it made it difficult for Kuma, but he did really well. Spinning out of traffic, kicks an absolute sack into the middle of the ground. That's taken by Trelfel. Drops it inside the 50. Kuma's over the top. 2-on-1 for the Dogs. Picked up by Daniels. 40 from home. Harry Burke's lurking around the back of this footy. In fact, it's Jaden Burke. Goes the outside of the boot. And squeezes it in for a minor score.
And our goal umpire nearly went over as well. Might have to ask him for a postcard from his trip before.
Had to shuffle a long way across to his left to the goal umpire down there. Back to a 3 straight kickball game, 10-11 to 8-5. Hawks in charge, 15 minutes played in this third term, or final term I should say.
Jack Thompson sent it wide to O'Brien of the Borough, further afield, lining up McGlashan. Interesting result in the AFL as well. Poor old Sakers have been done by a point from the GWS. So it's a long ball, McGlashan. Up onto the wing was Richards. He was the target. Spills to the front of the pack. Whistle. Might get a free kick. Umpire, I reckon he indicated the wrong way then. It's going to be a Dogs free kick. And now they are away through Liam Thomas.
Thomas just blasts it blindly inside forward 50. That's a really poor option. And the mark's taken by McGlashan, uncontested in defence. Now the ground's in Bendigo footy. Strathfield say now by 22 points over South Bendigo in the last quarter. Sandhurst by 15 over Kangaroo Flat. Kick out of defence was smothered. It's going to be a free kick here for a push. It's going against Daniels, I think. Sam Thompson will take it on the last line for the Hawks. Comes outside the defensive 50. Horrible kick. Straight to Stewart. Oh, he absolutely dropped what he should have taken. He spent it before he had it. He got tackled by Bolger. And it'll be a ball up at left half forward. There's some tired players out there at the moment doing some things that they wouldn't like to be doing on review.
Footy here on the broadcast side. put us out of our misery as the ball spills to the back of the pack to Jack Thompson. He's been pretty good this afternoon. They'll share it around and eventually hurry and got a free kick as Preston's got over his shoulder. Playing on quickly now will be Bryce Frost. He's got a player on. Evans directing traffic. Who's he going to go for? In fact, he kicked it to a contest which wasn't good, but front and centre. Although Sullivan, and got tripped. He was out. He was labouring. The goals were open, and I'm probably with you, Michael. I think he's pretty fortunate to get a free kick there.
Unbelievable. The tackle just went that little bit low and went below the knees, and it's classed as a trip. You don't like it, but he thought he had enough of it, but he had it all spent.
You got to be, well, he got the free kick, but he's just a little bit slow to react, and now he's got a shot on goal and slotted it. So it's through. A little bit of breathing room now for the Borough. It will become a little bit too hard before much longer. It's 11-10-78. They lead 8-4-52. Score sponsor JB Reese Dumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Celebrated like he meant every minute of that too, by the way.
77, is it, according to the scoreboard?
11-11-77 to 8-5-53.
We've got to get that right because we need the multiple of 6 because you never know, it's only a 3-goal margin.
We had that problem last week, didn't we? Almost out of Maryborough. That's good to stay on top of it. Out of the centre, Ben Thompson, high footy inside forward 50. Evans has spent a long time inside forward 50 in this second half. The goal kicker O'Sullivan takes it on the edge of the arc for the Hawks. McGlashan taken in the tackle, holding the ball. Free kicking advantage to the Dogs. Barrett just blazes away. Kicked it to nobody. Bolger's back there inside defensive 50 for the Hawks. They've got all the numbers. That's just a panic kick in the end. A really panic kick from Jack Thompson. Luckily, O'Brien was able to get there and see it across the line. Touch it on the way through. And it'll be a throw in. Right half forward. Dogs into attack. A 24-point game. Ben Thompson's down with cramp in the centre of the ground, so there's some tired bodies out there now.
A few of them are, in fact, doing that. He's not Robinson Crusoe. There's some sore, and cramp hurts more than anything. Let's be honest. As the ball spills wide, no clean possession. A rolling pack towards the line.
More than anything.
More than anything.
So if you were lining up the most painful things that could happen to you, cramp's at the top of the list.
Absolutely in the calves when you're playing footy.
For males?
Yeah. Yes, that's where I'm going.
Let's clarify this.
So this is where I'm going with it.
Wow.
That's what I thought you might have been, Joel.
I had a paper cut once at work too. Boy, oh boy, no, do they hurt.
Yep.
You're on your own here, Johnny.
Hurd picks it up and kicks it long for the Dogs. Probably misjudged that footy for the Borough was Jack Thompson, and it bounced over the boundary line. And we'll have a ball in. 70 around from the Dogs' goal. They trail 53-77. Almost 20 minutes gone. Final term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Joel, I was going to say, how do you know it's round one when all the players are down on the field trying to get cramps out?
There's plenty of stretching going on at the moment for these two teams. Recovery will be very important. Free kick at the stoppage. Strosh has won a free kick. He's dispossessed McGlashan. And Tom Strosh. It'll be a big year for this family. An Olympic year, of course. Sister Jenna will be hoping to take the trip to Paris with the Australian swimming team. And Tom's got the footy. He'll have to load up from just outside the 50. 4 kicks the margin before he lets go of this one. 20 minutes played, final term. He kicks from right on the 50. Gives it a really good ride. That's a terrific set shot. Tom Strosh steps up to the plate, drives a home run and says, we're not done yet. 3 goals the margin for the Dogs to make up. 9-4-58. In fact, 9-5-59 it is to 11-11-77. We've played 21 minutes here in this final term. Score sponsor JB Reese Dumping. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Tom Strosh was probably the highlight of the third quarter for Golden Square, and he's been able to sneak forward here and get a goal on the board, which is a huge team lifter. Can they get this centre clearance?
It'll be Eaglehawk that do through Evans. He's tackled by Rosengren and he's pinged plenty of time. You'd think there'd be 6 or 7 minutes remaining in this game.
68-point win to Heathcote to start the HPFL season 2. Johnny, the grand finalist from last year, on the board.
Good result as Rosengren puts it shallow inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Then the ball spills back inside 50. Strosh tried to gather the footy and couldn't. Umpires letting it go. Doing well. Also involved with Rouse for Eaglehawk. Whistle on play for a hold. And Rouse will get a free kick. Defensive side at centre circle, another cramp.
Got a feel for Braden Frost. He can't get himself up off the ground. He looks like a baby giraffe out there at the moment.
It's short pass. He wants to go down to Harcourt and Carisbrook for the unfurling of the flag, which is coincidentally at Harcourt this afternoon.
Yes.
Late this evening if you want to see a good game of footy.
6 o'clock start down there, 5:30ish.
It is, as Eaglehawk through Sam Thompson will bring it inside forward 50. And that was all a little bit laconic. Sitting at the back of the pack was Isley and said, thank you very much, I'll just take this chest mark, and he'll line them up.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was the 39 and just said thank you very much in that regard. Watched it go over the top of the head in the first two.
I'm not sure if he expected it, Michael. He was kind of just standing in no man's land. It just cleared the pack.
He's probably sitting there going, I don't need to worry about this one.
To the city end. Oh. Poor, ugly, cocked the ball. It actually tried to sneak in for a goal in the end, but didn't. And that's another minor score. 78 plays 59, 23 minutes gone. Final term. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
They can sense the urgency here, the Dogs. They immediately bring it long outside the 50 and drive it up to half forward. Good mark is taken by Holt. Wanted to go on with it and he was held up. He's 55 from home. He's got an option top of the square. Harry Burke's the target. Can he take the mark? It'll bounce toward him. Thompson's there. Grabbed by Daniels. Too high. Umpire waves it on. Daniels now grabs it. He's thrown to the turf. Free kick Hawks. Free kick to the Hawks on the last line. And it'll be Bennett who takes it, shares it with Madden. They should have got one earlier than that. They eventually get the square up the borough. They lead by 19 points at the 24-minute mark of the last, but they're trying to work it outside the defensive 50. Umpire says toss it in as Jaden Burke made sure that ball wasn't staying alive in the right forward pocket.
Not happy behind us here too, Joel.
They're amongst the people, Michael.
Very much so.
We're getting a good feel of it. The Eaglehawk player that had his sun as his eyes in Jack Thompson, and he was probably fortunate went over the boundary line. There's a heap of players around the footy again. Another stoppage. So Golden Square still close enough if they're good enough. They've got it inside their forward 50. Well inside. Simpson's road end. Trolton tries to make a path and grab the footy and couldn't. Mullen picks it up for the Borough. Hurriedly bangs it on the boot. Sends it towards the boundary line. Bryce Frost cleverly sees it over. And on right half forward for Golden Square, we'll have another ball in. 78 playing 59. 25 minutes are just about to tick over in this final term here. The opener out at Canterbury Park, famous Canterbury Park. Up they go in the ruck. Isley's doing it. Then he tapped it to the opposition in Jordan Rosengren, who put it on the boot and kicked it 3 rows back, almost into the lake beyond us. And it will be a free kick to the two Blues. 78 playing 59. 25 gone. Local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Fresh Bendigo score updates. Sandhurst 8-4-52. Lead Kangaroo Flat 1-1-7. Fergus Green's got a couple for the Dragons. And Strathfield say late in the game in Tannery Reserve and Tannery Lane. A couple of minutes remaining there. 13-18-96 to South Bendigo 9-8-62. So the Storms kicked away. Abe Sheehan's got 3 in that game. Lockie Gill's got 3 for Strathfield say. Of course, trying to find some new avenues to goal without Lockie Sharp these days, the Storm, and doing it pretty nicely in the latter stages against South Bendigo. Eaglehawk by 19 points here over Golden Square. Ball in the middle of the ground. Mullen on the left boot. Kicks inside the 50. Coe going back with the flight. If you had $1 for every time you would have said that over the last 10 years in Bendigo footy, you'd be a very, very rich individual. Rosengren out wide to Harry Burke. Got collected by Sam Thompson, and that'll be a free kick. And so Harry Burke in front of the grandstand here at Canterbury Park. Chips infield to Rosengren, who drives the Dogs up to half forward with a wobbly old thing that's marked. It was touched on the way through. It's taken by Hurd around the body inside the forward 50. And Coomer's in the right spot. He's been good here in this final term. Sends it out wide for Rouse as the Hawks can steady again.
Rouse down the line. Kicked it to a contest. Good fist defensively by the Dogs through Carter, sawed over the boundary line. And we'll have a ball in. Directly in front of us. We're in the grandstand here at famous Canterbury Park. The boundary line is in a big cast shadow as he throws it in. Whistle on play, waiting for the footy to emerge, and it didn't. Mullen had it, but it was far too late. And we'll have another ball up. 78 playing 59, 27 gone. Final term, local footy lives at Fresh Bendigo.
Frost's back out there. So he's regained most of his motor skills. Rosen's off the pack. Kicks into the centre of the ground, sliding in Sam Thompson. Thomas is over the top of him for the Dogs. Squirts out the back toward Mullen. Got grabbed, maybe high. John Norton says no. And the ball up. He's not alone. Blake McGregor's struggling to get up off the ground.
You mean he's now looking like a normal giraffe, not a baby giraffe?
Yeah, he's developed quite a few years in a short period of time, Braden Frost, as far as the giraffe sort of development goes. Not an expert on that by any matter, or by not many things by any matter, that's for sure. Middle of the ground here, trying to spin out of troubles, Humphrey. He's gone. He got absolutely caught in a bind. And Ben Thompson's going to pick himself up. Braden Frost was able to pick himself up. He just hopes that he doesn't fall to the ground again. In fact, the big fella is going to take the free kick. So he's right behind the centre circles. Hawks by 19 points. They're going to win this one with some tired old bodies out there. Round one in Bendigo footy. Strathfield say going to beat South Bendigo. And Sandhurst are well on their way toward it against Kangaroo Flat.
Billy Evans with the footy. You wouldn't want to get a cramp in your neck if you're a giraffe, would you? Reckon they hurt in the calf? Boy, oh boy. As the ball goes long.
That'd be a very painful injury, wouldn't it?
This one's dead now, isn't it?
Yep.
I reckon it is. They're working hard, the Dogs, but there's not enough time through Carter now to half forward. Target was Daniels. Keeps his feet, collects the football, tried to handball it over the top. It was under far too much pressure. The two Blues did well. As the siren sounds here at famous Canterbury Park. And Eaglehawk, well, they didn't have it all their own way. Final scores, they got there 11-12-78 to the Dogs. Golden Square 9-5-59.
So it's a 19-point margin in the end, the way of Eaglehawk. And after losing both to the Dogs last season, they win to start 2024, and they beat the reigning premiers, who won their last 17 games in 2023. But start 2024 on the wrong side of things to the Golden Square Bulldogs. 11-12-78 the final score to Golden Square, 9-5-59. Goal kickers in the ballgame. Sam O'Shaughnessy had 3 to lead the line for Eaglehawk. They kicked just 1 goal in that final term in the end, the Dogs. Isaac O'Sullivan kicked that for his lone goal of the day. Darcy Richards kicked 2. Jonty Neves kicked 2. Bailey Ilesley kicked 2. And Ben Thompson kicked 1. For Golden Square, Jaden Burke kicked 3. He kicked 6 all of last season. Jordan Rosenwood kicked 2 on return to the Dogs. Harry Burke kicked 1 in that final turn. Ty Daniels kicked the first of the game. And Zach Takal kicked 1 on senior debut as well. And really the tale of the tape will boil down to the fact that Eaglehawk had a 7-goal-6 third term. Jonty Neves gave them a goal after the halftime siren. He kicked a goal within the first minute and a half of the second half beginning. They piled on another 6 from there. They kicked 7 in a row on the bounce. Eaglehawk on either side of half-time to assume control of the ball game, and despite a late Golden Square flurry, it was a bit too much to overcome. So they win by 19 points to get their season off to a nice start. The Hawks, John Hunter, Michael Van. Michael, what did you make of